Hello everyone, how's it going? And welcome back to the As Always podcast, episode 150. I'm one of your hosts, James, and I'm joined, as always, by Tyler.
As always, how's it going, my friend?
It's going well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Had a hectic week, a good week, good weekend. Too much alcohol was consumed on multiple occasions, so I feel like I spent the last 3 days being hungover. But it's been good. I've enjoyed myself, had a good time.
That's nice.
You know? And happy to be here. Happy to wrap up my weekend. The episode's a bit delayed. Usually we record these and the Four Pillars podcast on Thursdays. And then obviously it gives Josh time to edit them and get them out at the top tier quality that they are on a Monday. But we're doing this on a Sunday, so it's not really enough time for Josh to do what he does. It's not fair on him to ask him to get it done in 24 hours. That'd be fucking bullshit. So it'll probably be Tuesday that you're listening and hearing this or seeing this. So that's why we're here. But I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful.
Lots to talk about, lots to cover. Because we didn't get a chance to talk about... We did the predictions for the PlayStation event on the Four Pillars podcast, but that's then happened. So we've got to talk about that.
That's true.
There's a bunch of new shows and TV news that I want to talk to you about.
Oh, okay.
Might not be things you'd think of. It's more of like obscure things that you and I like, not necessarily like community shit that we would, cover on the news sort of thing. Right. And then we've got another Civil War segment. Segment. Yeah, which is exciting. And then I think we need to get a guest on. It's been a while. Next episode.
Yeah, we should.
See if we can get... I'd love to have Maddie and Colin on again before the year's over.
Yeah. That'll probably be good.
And then I want to get... We do need to get Eddie and Sheps on. We haven't had them on at all this year.
Yeah, true. The last time we got them on was end of last year.
Yeah. And though I've done many, many, many podcasts with them this year, probably as much as I've done podcasts with you this year. Yeah, we need to get them on. We haven't. Have we had Robin on this year?
We've not had Robin on for ages.
Oh, we need to get Robin.
We should try and get him on because he's back around now doing bits and bobs, so that'll be fine.
Yeah, he is. Have we had Brett on this year? Was he on this year?
No, we've not had Brett on since. Last time was the
redacted
one. The
redacted.
Holy shit! That was about a year ago. That was about this time last year, wasn't it? All that happened.
It was.
Or was it like July? Yeah, for some reason, I'm like, we're still in July. It's about then. I'm like, holy shit! It's fucking September.
Yep, nearly in October. We're getting there.
No, don't say that.
I love
September. I love September. It's a great month.
Yeah,
it's when it's the start of spring in Australia. It starts to get a little warmer. Finals footy's on. Sports Central.
Weird. You have weird September. Seasons, don't you? Fuck. I always forget. It's weird when you say that. Spring in September.
Yeah. Starting to get warm now.
Time. Yeah,
it was 30 degrees Celsius today. And I'm like, winter just ended a week ago and it's 30 degrees Celsius already and fully sunny.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's all opposite. Yeah, it's getting colder here, which is nice. That's what I like about September is it gets colder. It's, we're nearing autumn. It's nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's the winds of change. The old September, and it's good times. That was weird. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching or listening to the As Always podcast, which is powered by the great people over at patreon.com/as always. So if you want to show your support to James and myself, head over to patreon.com/as always, where you'll get exclusive access to the weekly podcast, the Clubhouse podcast, the best podcast on the internet. There's over 122 episodes for your listening pleasure to go and stream at any point of time for just as little as $1 a month, plus participate in the polls for the Civil War segment that you will see later in the show. It was actually decided by a third-party advocate that it's one of the great ideas of all time, of any idea. And that's not me saying that because coincidentally, it's my idea that happened, but I just wanted to share that, and that's nothing to do with it. Two separate ideas It's one of the great ideas of all time. I'm not saying that because it was my idea. It just coincidentally also happens to be my idea. But I thought I'd share the news that it was voted on by a third party and peer reviewed. Do your own research if you want to find out more about that.
I believe you.
Yeah. Or don't and just believe me. But that's up to you. That's your choice.
That's what I'll do.
Don't blame me. But you can do that. So, head over there. Support us at patreon.com/as always. And you get early access to James's videos and probably not any of my videos because what videos do I make? None at all.
That's true.
But you can get on the As Always Discord chat, which is where I live on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
I love the As Always Discord chat.
it's definitely evolved and changed. There's a lot more people on it these days, and sometimes it's not the best, but it's still the best place on the Discord.
What do you mean? What's happened? Why is it not always the best?
I don't know. Sometimes, how do I explain this?
I love it all the time. I always go in and I'm like, this is like community chat, but better. Because community chat is full of people I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what I love about the As Always chat. It's like I know everyone in there, or most people in there, and it's just fun. And I can talk about sort of anything, and people share anything. I think there was a point during the last few months that it was really like everyone would just sort of, I don't know, it was just a bit of a slow vibe. But the community was a bit of a low vibe.
So.
We were gone. It was just a weird vibe. You know?
We've had some.
And we do
vibes.
operate off a vibe, as you're well aware, James.
So
I'm not sure if you were aware of that. I'm pretty sure you are, because you are. You understand vibe, as do I.
Yeah. That is a good.
And that's
point,
unironic that I say that as well. Yeah, that we do operate off vibe. That's unironic, and I mean that. But yeah, but no, for the most part, it's great to chat. On the Discord, in my opinion. I don't go into any other chat because it's not really my Discord.
What do you mean? Yeah, it is.
Is it though? Yeah. No. The As Always chat's mine, and everyone can leave me alone. No one can leave me alone. That's my chat. You can all fucking look after everything else. That's mine. All right. And yours as well, James. And everyone that's a part of the As Always army. So go out of the Patreon.com/as always. And we can become. I was about to say we go internet friends. I'm like, I can't say that. It's creepy.
We can become close internet friends.
Yeah, we won't though, because
you can message me at 3 a.m. and I'll reply.
I'll give you my address, phone number, and social security number if you.
Confirm.
No, I won't. I'm going to say that legally.
Just
I will not do that. No, you don't. I'm not. That's a joke. I wait for you to go, James. Josh, bleep that out where Tyler says that. And make it legally binding that he has to share. Oh
amazing.
God. But yes, we have to thank our producers from there that make this show happen. So thank you to our producers over at Patreon.com/as always. We have Ollie the Superior, Ollie, Avery, Dobbs, Clark, 53, Damien, Epic, Alaric, or Morgoths, Monster Cock, Ferentino, Flash Paradox, Franca, Jesper Olsen, King Richard III, Ryan Hafer, Seth, and Ballsack 47. Thank you, you sweet vintage lads, for helping me out this podcast. Really appreciate you.
Nice.
James, there's a few shows about at the moment I want to talk to you about, and the reason I want to start with this because I want to sort of build into everything. Do you watch Sex Education?
No, I watched an episode of it and I was like, this is not for me.
I enjoy the show. It's quite a cult show at the moment. People seem to really
I can see why people would, and I feel like I also would, but I didn't want to. I was like, I would probably actually enjoy it, but I don't want to enjoy it because I don't like it. So, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
It's I feel like I would enjoy it, but I don't want to enjoy it because I don't like it.
I just feel really guilty. I don't know. It's like I watch it and I'm like, this is horrible, but also I know that I would just be sucked into it, and I don't like it. So I was like, I can't watch it. I can't do it.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's just how my brain works. So there you go. There's that.
Right. Okay. Well, that's fantastic.
No, I don't watch it.
Yeah, well, season 3 just came out, and I've been hearing negative thoughts and feedback on it. Some good ones, but a few people have been a bit negative about it. I just watched the first episode right before we started recording this.
Was it good?
It was okay. Like, I haven't watched, I watched this first season when it came out. I watched the second season when it came out, but then a year passes, and it's a show that I'd never think about again. It's not one of those shows that you finish and then you're like, oh, have you seen Sex Education? Like, I've never said that sentence ever. It's not like not like, for example, what I want to talk to you about after this is You season 3 trailer came out, and that comes out in October. Yeah, dude, it comes out next month.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, yeah, bro.
I fucking missed this.
Yeah, well, we can watch it on the podcast.
Oh my god,
we can watch it right now. And then
that's amazing. Okay,
yeah. This is a trailer reaction to You. This is actually a legit your first viewing.
I didn't even know this happened.
Yeah, You season 3 trailer. So I want to talk to you about that. But that's an example of a show that like I would think about after I finish the show. And then like I'm excited for, whereas I just like turned on Netflix and it was there. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I've watched that show. And then I start watching and then it starts again. I'm like, I've sort of forgot what happened. So I'm just sort of like, it was fine, but I don't really remember who I cared about or why I cared. That's sort of what I'm
Right.
dealing with sex education right now. But it's okay. It's fine. I'm sure I'll watch the whole thing and finish it. But I don't think it'll get any worse or better. I think it'll just continue to be a show that, I watch it. And then I never think about it again until the next season's out. And then I watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But season 3. Yeah, that's right. It's one of honestly, my favorite Netflix shows.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, like from memory, like I really enjoyed that second season. And I was very skeptical going in. I'm like, how do they just do this again? Like, isn't that a bit weird? A bit lazy?
Oh, it was really
but it actually
good,
turned out really fucking good. It's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure we did a Cinema Room podcast on it, didn't we?
We did, yeah, we did.
There was a bunch of good shows on at that point, because we did that was when The Witcher and The Mandalorian season 1. Well, we hated The Mandalorian, didn't we? Wasn't that the podcast we decided we hated it though? Like we were both like sort of doing the podcast and talking about it and breaking it down. Then we both by the end of it. Yeah. But I didn't know I didn't like it, and I don't think you knew you didn't like it until the end of the episode. And then we
just sort of realised, the show kind of sucks, doesn't it? But that's all right.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And then everyone continues to harass you and I individually about, but season 2.
Yeah.
You guys need to watch it. And I just won't do it.
No thanks.
Yeah. We get it. Luke Skywalker was in it.
Yeah, wow.
We get it.
It was like shit CGI as well. Like his face was like pasted on. It looks terrible.
Why did they need to get old Mark Hamill in for that? Like, they didn't use him. What did they use him for?
I have no fucking clue.
That was the weirdest part. That Mark Hamill came back. I'm like, yeah, but that wasn't Mark Hamill that did any of that.
No, not even the voice.
What was he? He didn't do the voice. He's obviously wasn't his direct. Obviously, it was a copy of his face when he was young, but it was not his face now. And it certainly was never his body. But then you're looking behind the scenes and he's there filming it, and I'm like, why?
Maybe he's just there to like.
He's old and he's fat. That's not who I saw in the show. You know what I mean?
Maybe he's there to tell you, like,
legendary Mark Hamill.
He's there to coach the actor, maybe. On saying one line. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Yeah, but I've seen behind the scenes where he's actually in costume.
Oh, I don't fucking know then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what? Like, they didn't use that.
Maybe they were going to. Maybe they were going to use him, and then it just didn't work, and then.
But they had his double there. They brought his double. They were both there.
I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they just wanted 2 different shots. They're like, let's try it with Mark Hamill and let's try it without Mark Hamill and see which one works better. Maybe we can edit it afterwards. I don't know. I don't know.
True.
Yeah. I don't care about the show though.
Yeah. Yeah, right. We don't care about the show. It doesn't matter. I mean, we don't care about Star Wars.
No.
Really. No.
It's dead.
Well, other than KOTOR. Let's talk about KOTOR for a second.
KOTOR,
because we do need to talk about U Season 3. We did say we're going to do that. But
yeah, we do need to do that.
We'll talk about KOTOR later then.
Put a pin in KOTOR. We'll get back to it.
But I just felt it was a really natural segue we just went on then. I was just like, let's go on to KOTOR, but you're right.
That's a shame.
We'll get into that later. I've got a good Lord of the Rings KOTOR meme for you.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not sure if you know. Ladies and gentlemen, follow me on Instagram if you don't, first of all. I'm not even at 1,000 followers on it, you fucks. At Tyler Dynamite. I post daily Lord of the Rings memes.
Yeah, he does.
I do. I've been pretty...
On his story. It's really something.
James doesn't like it.
Some of them were good. Some of them were good. There was that one that was just bad though, and I was like, "This is not good." I have to reply to this. I can't remember what it was. It was the Leroy Jenkins one. Oh god, that's so dead.
But that's why it's funny.
I know.
Because it's so shit. It's like, this is a dumb meme. Who made this? Because I'll go on the Reddit and be like, who the fuck made this?
Oh man.
I just go on Lord of the Rings memes on Reddit. But one of my favourite ones of all these Lord of the Rings memes has been the Bilbo Baggins Gandalf memes. Mm-hmm. And it's like, when Gandalf knocks on the door and he's like, no, thank you. I don't want, any more. Well, in this meme, it's a KOTOR one. I'll send it to Josh, so I'll put it on screen. I've just sent it to you on Messenger.
Where am I looking?
Okay. On Messenger, yeah, so you can see it. And my favourite one was like a Denny's meme. And hang on, I'll get it up. I need to get it up. I'll send this to Josh as well. All these, I hope I didn't delete them, because that was one of my favourite ones. I really enjoyed that. That actually made me laugh a lot. It was a Denny's,
he's a classic.
Slammed like a fucking what do they call it?
What are you talking about? Sorry, I was looking at the meme.
Oh, you're looking at the meme, the KH1 meme?
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like that was a timely relevant. It's not necessarily funny, but I enjoy that meme. The same way when they started that Padme Anakin
Oh, I like
meme
that
where it's
one.
like a 4 square meme, and it's similar to that with the Bilbo Gandalf one. I really enjoy those 4 ones. Yeah, no, the Anakin Padme memes. That's a solid meme.
That's a good meme. Don't know if it's a good meme anymore. It was. I feel like it might have been killed by big brands overusing it, but it was a good meme while it lasted.
Yeah, I don't know why this made me laugh so much. So it's if you don't know, Denny's, which is a diner chain in the United States, they do a breakfast called the Grand Slam breakfast, and it's just Gandalf knocking on the door, and you hear Bilbo inside the door going, "No, thank you. We don't want any more visitors, well wishes, or distant relations." And it's just got a Grand Slam breakfast on Gandalf's face, and it goes, "How about all this for just $6.99?" And he goes, and then Bilbo's running out to hug him and goes, "Grand Slam, Delf." And I don't know why. I think it's the greatest meme I've ever seen. It made me laugh so hard.
That is a good meme. That's a clever meme.
Grand Slam, Delf. And there's like the one where it's like Gandalf selling a makeup kit. And it's one of those like really dodgy, like your old school friend shows up at your house and you're like, "Oh, we don't want this." And he's just like, "How about, all of this?" And he's like, "Oh, scammed Elf." And he runs out to hug him. I was like, I love these. These are great memes.
That's funny.
Anyway, I'll send all those to Josh to put on screen. And then people can think I'm fucking weird and be like, none of that's funny, Tyler. James is just humouring you when he laughed at that.
I like it. I like the Grand Slam one. That's funny.
Grand Slam Delf is a classic.
That's a clever spin on a meme.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Now, Season 3, have you got the trailer up?
I don't, but I can get it up.
Yeah.
Where are we looking? Is it on? It's on YouTube, I would assume.
It is on YouTube.
Season 3. Okay, let's see. I do not want to watch it on Netflix Asia.
I've got the link for you if you need. Wasn't that a weird one? Wasn't that weird that it came up? Netflix Asia was the top result. That was for me
that
as
was the top result, and I couldn't even find it. I had to go through the channel
through the Netflix channel page. Yeah, that's what I just did. How fucking weird is that?
That's so weird. And this one's trending as well. That's so odd that this one wasn't top. All right. Okay.
I'm glad it was the same for you as well. That's it's not normally. You normally would have that sort of. Our YouTubes are the same anyway.
Yeah, that's weird.
Our search results from other countries. Anyway,
that's bizarre.
let me know when you're ready. And Josh, if you need to cut, you know how to cut this up, Josh. And test it for copyright.
Josh, I swear to God, if you get us fucking copyrighted again, like you did on that fucking.
No, I'm pretty sure. No, he's good. He's been good because he tests them. Like he'll pull the clip of it out and he'll upload the clip separately.
And then he clearly didn't fucking do that with the Red Dead shit, did he?
Well, I think he didn't know, and he's been doing it since, man. He learned from his mistakes. I think he told Josh something once, and he won't do it again.
Try harder, Josh. I'm joking. Thank you, Josh. Okay. All right.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, go. Hold up. For some reason, it fucking play.
Oh, no.
Go back to the start when you do that count again. That was so fucking weird.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Ooh.
Why do I love his voice so much? He's a serial killer.
I know, but he's cool.
And another woman that he'll stalk and murder, inevitably.
Ooh. Oh no.
Look at his eyes. The look in his eyes, dude. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is a very good actor.
No, it's Why You Know Love Me. That's how you say it. He does look like John Mayer too as well.
Yeah. They kept joking about that in season 2.
Are they doing swinging?
I have no clue. This is a lot. There's a lot happening in this trailer.
There's a lot in this trailer.
Oh, that's fucked.
Dude. So it's only in a couple weeks, man.
That was a good trailer. Holy fuck, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Just under a month.
Yeah, when I saw that, I like that Netflix does that. Like, here's the trailer for that new show you've been waiting for, and it's in a couple weeks. It's like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's hype.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm really excited for that. That looks awesome.
Yeah. That's gonna be good for sure.
What are your thoughts? What are your feelings about that?
I mean, it looked really good. There's plenty going on. It's a very, they show a lot without showing a lot, you know.
That's
really know
the third
what's
time
going
I've watched
on,
that trailer, and I've definitely picked up the most from that third viewing.
Yeah,
I found, like, I was trying to work out, like, at the end, there's some shots of this weird, like these shirtless guys fighting, and it looks like some sort of weird cult thing. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like this. Because where are they? Are they in like Orange County now? Is that where they are? Like, where are they living?
No
like some
clue.
California rich suburb. And I feel like, well, I think this is in California. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I feel like they just moved to like a richer suburb because he was in. So the first season was in New York, then he moved to LA. Season 2. That's where that whole thing happened, which is crazy. Remember that. What a twist! And this is obviously spoilers for season 1 and 2 because we're talking about season 3. How crazy was that moment where you find out Love's a murderer too? Like, that was one of, like, I literally was like, this is a legit. I mean, it's, as a twist, it's ridiculous, like, in reality, but for the show, it's like, what a twist. I was like, holy fuck.
So hype. It was like, oh fuck, I did not see it. And you just don't see it coming. You don't think about that. You're so like hyper focused on, you know, everything else. You just don't
remember
think,
their names.
like,
What the fuck is the characters' names?
The main character is called fucking Joe.
Yes, it is. It's fucking Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
It's fucking Joe. Yeah, no, you're right. It's 100%. It's Joe Goldberg.
Yep.
And then you've got Love's the season 2 and now wife in 3. But Beck was the season 1. Because you always assumed it was going to be like Beck for the show, right? Like, at the end of season 1, I was like, wait, what the fuck? They killed her off at the end of the first season? How are we supposed to do a second season? Because you can't have him do this again. It'll be boring if every season's just a new girl. But they did a really good job with season 2. They did an amazing job where it's still, it still really worked by doing it differently. But you then can't do it a third time that way.
Yeah.
So they do. I mean, they are doing it a third time. But
yeah, they are, but differently. So it seems like we're going down a different route because there's going to be different dramas and different dilemmas that are going to pop up this time around.
Because he's married to Love now.
Yeah,
and he's got a kid.
Yeah. He's got a kid.
And she's a murderer also.
Interesting. Yeah, exactly. They're both fucking. Oh, this is going to be very interesting to see where they take this for sure.
And the shot at the end with like the baby sitting there and the two of them in the foreground,
man,
or in the background. Is the foreground the close? That's
foreground is what's closer to you. Background is what's
background
behind.
Is yeah. I knew background was behind, but I'm like, is that like a synonym? For some reason, I'm like, no, foreground's the front. You dickhead, it's the opposite. I don't know why I got confused, but yeah, them in the background just like burying a body, and you're like, okay, this is weird.
Classic you, like, really.
Yeah. And then just the intensity in Joe's face that you forget in those really... You don't see that often in the trailers. You forget it until you're watching the show, that intensity he has when he's doing a killing or trying to save himself. That look in his eye, it's actually so well performed.
Yeah, he's very good. He is very good.
I almost want to watch the show again from the start now.
Yeah, I've forgotten quite a bit. I kind of feel like I do too.
Yeah.
I might... Maybe I will.
I don't know if I'd rewatch season 1, but I'd rewatch season 2. I feel like you could start from 2.
I love season 1 though. I feel like I would love to rewatch it just to rewatch it as well, just because it's so good.
Yeah, it is really good. I just think to save time, and I feel like a lot more happened in season 2, whereas season 1 was pretty clear cut storyline.
Yeah, well, that's season 2 is going to lead into season 3 more than.
Like,
season
remember
1
Love's brother? He was such a major character in that second season, and you end up loving him. 40. Remember 40? He died at the end.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, because 40 sort of figured it out. I think 40 figured it out.
Who killed him?
And then he was going to kill Joe, and then Love was there, and she was going to just sort of let it happen or try to stop it. But then the cop came in and killed 40.
I don't remember that at all.
Didn't some cop come in?
I don't remember any of the show. I don't think.
Yeah. Wow. And then Crystalia was a pedo in it.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic. Yeah.
Crystalia's back now. Crystalia's back.
Yeah, I saw he's back.
Yeah. I've been watching the podcast again, and watching his vlogs and stuff. I don't know, man. It's hard, and I say that, but people be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're supporting him." But I'm like, I don't really know what happened. I've heard his side of the story, and I'm like, I don't know the truth. But I don't know. I want to think he didn't. Like, I want to believe that he didn't. I don't think I'm being naive. I said this when it all went down. I'm like, he's clearly a piece of shit with all these people he's DMing, and he's a bit of a weirdo, but I didn't see any proof that he had done anything with an actually underage person. Like, the one person we talked to that had a screenshot or something from memory, and this is again just from my head, maybe I'm totally off on this, but when she said she was underage, he was like, okay, well, no.
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about this whole situation. All I know is that it was like people were saying this about him, but I don't know anything about it, so I can't comment. But
but then he came back and he had an explanation video, and then he's back with his podcast and vlogs, and his fiance, who he has a son with, who he cheated on all that time, and as he admitted, every relationship he ever had, like, came back and admitted, well, he told his side of the story, and pretty much admitted to, being a sex addict and sleeping around. And I think he's more of an ego addict than a sex addict, but that's just my opinion. I think he's, helping himself with that. And she's now in his vlogs and doing videos, and they Twitch stream together. And I think he's really worked on mending that relationship. So I don't know. I like second chances, and I always liked Chris. And he seems like way more real now. Like, it's pretty clear he's like being very vulnerable. And I don't know. I like second chances, and I'd like to think maybe he didn't do partly what he was accused of. He certainly did the cheating and sleeping around a lot, but yeah. Well,
who knows? Who knows? I don't give a shit either way, but there you go.
You don't give a shit about victims, bro? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
That's like a Joe Weller KSI, like when Joe Weller goes, "You don't give a fuck about mental health." Like, it's like, I don't think that's what he said, bro. I don't think that's what he said.
Oh. Yeah.
God. That's where all that fucking YouTube boxing started. God damn it.
Yeah,
Those two. It wasn't even Jake Paul or Logan Paul.
I know. We talked about this last Four Pills podcast, didn't we? About the Joe Weller stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
true.
I remember being shocked, remembering it all.
Bizarre. Have you been watching anything else? Like, any shows or any movies or anything?
No, not really.
There's a lot of good movies coming out at the end of the year. We've got No Time to Die.
Oh yeah,
new James Bond.
That's coming out.
Because that was supposed to come out last year.
A long time
So one of those COVID delayed movies. Dune comes out as well.
Oh yeah, I see people talking about
that. Matrix. And Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So
there is a lot, yeah. There's a decent bit coming out at the end of the year.
Next year has a fuckload. Games next year and movies next year is huge.
Yeah, 2022 is going to be stacked full of shit. It's going to be wild.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, I need it all.
I've been rewatching a show that I once binged to the point of it sent me into a deep depression. Like, there's never a show I've watched so aggressively, so fast, so much. And I was like, this is it. Like, when I finished it, I actually had I was sad. Like, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I've lost friends. I feel like I just broke up with someone.
Oh,
like, you have
God.
that moment of like, it was so weird. I was like, oh God. Because I used to, like, it was when I was unemployed for a couple of months when I moved back from Melbourne years ago.
Yeah.
And I just binged like 7 seasons of it in like a 2-week period. I was watching it like all day, every day.
Is
and
this
then I was
Suits
like,
you're talking about?
it is Suits. That's right,
Yeah.
motherfucker. It's fucking
I was
Suits.
going to say, that's the only show I know that you've watched obsessively like that.
Yeah, it was Suits. And
Amazing.
now it's season 7 again of Suits.
You're
And
watching it again. You watched
watching
it
it
again.
I watched it again. And it is...
Oh my God.
You know what? It's one of the best shows of all time. It is fucking amazing.
Insane.
It's fucking amazing. I'm rewatching it and I'm having a great time. Because it's a great background show like that I can watch, but I'm not in a rush to watch it where I'm like, fuck, I really want to get home. I can be productive. I do what I need to do in my day. And know if I have time, oh, cool, I can watch Suits and I'm keen to watch it. It's not that thing I'm like, oh, fuck, I really want to watch that show, so let's skip this today and like, if I can do this work thing later or this podcast thing later or I'll go to the gym tomorrow. I really want to watch fucking Sex Education.
Yeah, I really want to watch it. I really want to get through it.
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
But yeah, Suits.
No, that's cool.
Like, once again, back watching it. I haven't finished. I never watched the last season of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was still airing. When I watched it, there was only 7 seasons, and there's now 9 seasons. And I did watch season 8. I never watched season 9. It's when Mike Ross came back to the show. Because the season 8 is sort of boring because the two, like, Mike and Rachel leave, and that's 2 of, like, your main characters gone. Mike's the main character, Harvey, you know, those 2 are the 2 main. So half of them are gone. So you're sort of like, I mean, it's still good, but it's half as good as it was. And then Mike came back for the last season. I never watched it. So I'm now going to watch it through to the end for the first time.
Oh, shit. That's hype.
Yeah. So it is hype. That's just my live update of watching Suits.
Yeah. Again, oh my God. It feels
Once
like we're back in the day.
I'd like to once again ask for everyone to watch Suits.
Everyone go ahead, watch Suits.
But yeah, there was also a big PlayStation event.
There was a big PlayStation event.
It was pretty
You're
fucking
right.
huge. And I've been keen to talk to you about it, and people were pretty disappointed the 4 Pillars podcast didn't talk about it because we recorded it before it. But if I remember correctly, my only prediction for the event was God of War will appear on the event.
Mm-hmm.
And so it did. But I feel like that's the thing we're
yeah.
going to talk about the most, and we'll get to at the end. But let's run through, almost in chronological order of the event. The first teaser was KOTOR.
It was.
It opened with the Knights of the Old Republic remake. Do you want to talk about your reaction to that, your feelings on that?
Yeah.
Because you're a big fan of the original.
Yeah, I love KOTOR. I mean, I didn't play it as a kid. I remember seeing it. I remember seeing the game as a kid. I know one of my friends had it, but I never played it for whatever reason. I don't really know, but I remember it being like this elusive, really interesting game that everyone talks about. And I didn't play it until I think it was about, what was it, 2018? No, it must have been before that. I think it was 2017. It was a while ago now, actually. But I remember playing it through for the first time and just absolutely falling in love with it. I thought it was a fantastically made game that holds up really well today. It's obviously dated in a lot of its design aspects. Like, it's not, you know, it doesn't play like a modern game, obviously. But I love that about it. I like old games and when games have old mechanics, mostly because they're interesting and unique. Because the stuff that we play these days is nothing like how games used to be made. So when I play a really well-made RPG from BioWare that came out all that time ago, it's really engaging because it's not like anything that, you know, it doesn't play like a modern Mass Effect or, you know, a Witcher 3 clone. It's its own thing, doing things really interestingly. So I had a good time with that, and I've always been like, a KOTOR remake would be really sick because it's like one of the best pieces of Star Wars media, and it's got an amazing story, and it deserves to be retold. It deserves for people to see it these days. And yeah, it was fucking hype as shit to see that trailer pop up because I did not expect it at all. I know there were some people thinking maybe it would show up, which I found out after the fact. But I'm glad I had no like inkling at all that KOTOR would be there because it was a huge surprise and it was fucking exciting. So that was really cool. And it just depends on where they go with it, I guess. But I'm excited regardless, so it should be fun.
It's interesting that it's a Sony and PlayStation exclusive, though. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, and it's not BioWare, or EA's not involved. It's Aspyr that's making it, so that's interesting too. But I think that's probably a good thing.
What has Aspyr made before?
They've done remasters before of other games, I think, but they've never done like a full-on remake like this. I'm pretty sure. Let me just check.
Well, with being a PlayStation studio, you're fairly confident it'll be alright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah.
What do they got here? I guess just remasters and ports of shit like Civilization 6 on mobile. You got Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and Jedi Outcast onto the Switch and PlayStation.
Okay.
Republic Commando. So they've like ported and remastered stuff before, I guess, but they've never done like a full on project like this. So it's exciting to see how well they do. And I mean, if Sony are trusting them with this, you would think that they have proved they know what they're doing and they've got like a good. I don't know. I guess their direction's going to be good, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, they've said that the game is going to be a retelling of the story, but it's also going to stick very closely to the major story beats, which is what you expect from a remake. I sort of expect like a Final Fantasy VII almost in terms of like where they go with like the story. So it's like, if you play the original, you can see it's the original story, but then there's a lot more in there, a lot more expanded on maybe each of the characters. Because KOTOR's not a very long game. You can beat it in a couple days. It's not, super, super long or anything.
That's a long time. Are you talking about like 48 hours? Or are you talking about
I mean, when I say a couple days, I mean like a few days, like maybe like, 4 or 5 days you could probably beat KOTOR. It's not.
Yeah, but are you talking 4 or 5 days of gameplay, or like in a session that you would play a game in 4 days you would have the game?
That's what I mean. I don't mean like 4 or 5 full days. I mean like the game's probably about 20 hours long.
Okay. That's not 4 days of gaming for me. That's like 2 months of gaming.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, how I imagine it is if I were to stream it, like how many stream days would it take me to beat the game? KOTOR, maybe 5, maybe 6. It depends how many I do.
Yeah.
Like 6 4-hour sessions or something.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah.
Maybe 5. I don't know.
I'm trying to...
Yeah, it's not super long. So I assume the remake will be longer. They'll add more in. Each character will probably have a little bit more backstory. There'll be more side quests to do, stuff like that. But yeah, who knows? I mean, who knows how they're going to tackle the world, like the structuring of the worlds and like what they're going to look like, and like what's the combat going to be like, and there's so many questions about what this KOTOR remake's going to be like. But I don't know, it's exciting though.
I'm stoked.
Yeah,
I'm stoked. I've never played KOTOR. I played KOTOR, but I like at a friend's house.
Right, yes, you never played it through.
But like I never played it. And that was when it was new, and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. But it was all like, it looked very weird to me. I hadn't played a game like it before, or seen a game like it before. So I'm really keen to play this remake. I'm sure it's a long way off though. I'm sure it's years and years away.
Yeah, they've said.
It's nice to know that's on the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
In the distant future, for the PlayStation 5.
Definitely.
But I feel like my opinion of this Sony event, James, was that Sony once again pulled out their big dick and goes, "Did you guys forget?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it felt like, because I feel like I had forgotten. I feel like I was not respecting what Sony has done, and they pulled out the big dick and they were like, "Here you go, motherfucker." Yeah. You think Xbox are good? What have they put out? And then you're like, "Oh yeah, they haven't actually put out anything yet."
Yeah, it was definitely one of those classic Sony moves. Like, they waited for the right time too, because Xbox had a bunch of events. They waited until everyone was like, praising Microsoft and all these other companies and like talking about all that stuff after all of these big events. They wait for everything to calm down, then they put out their big event. And they're like, look at all the shit that we have, and it's also coming out. That you got. Obviously you got Horizon stuff this year. Then you got a ton of it is coming 2022.
Not this year. It's
next
year.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. I'm thinking.
I'm thinking in
financial years.
From day one.
February is this year to me. But so like you've got 2022 is just full of games from Sony, obviously including God of War and Horizon Forbidden West. And then you've got moving into 2023 and beyond. You've obviously got like Wolverine, Spider-Man. KOTOR, and it's big. It's fucking big. They've got a lot that they're doing, and they're showing a lot. And it was definitely a big event.
I was confused by the Uncharted trailer.
Oh yeah.
Like, why was that a decision they made?
What's it?
Like, what even is it a port or is it?
Well, they said
touched it up?
remastered. So I assume there's some.
How do you remaster Uncharted?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the game is now running. I think it's 4K 60 now on PS5. So you've got that.
Okay.
But in terms of like actually remastering, maybe they've got like higher texture quality. Maybe the shadows are smoother. I don't know. It's going to be very minor things.
Ray tracing?
Yeah, ray tracing, probably. Shit like that. And then obviously it's coming to PC too, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that they didn't then do like an updated Nathan Drake collection where they were like, this is updated, you know, the whole thing is like 4K 60. We've added some ray tracing and stuff, but no, it's just Lost Legacy and Uncharted 4, which is cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
People forget Lost Legacy. People forget how good that game
it's a
is. Because it's amazing.
Yeah, very good.
Every Uncharted's great. I'm just waiting for that announcement of the next Uncharted, though. Because we've been hearing about it for a long time.
Yeah, I wonder what that's going to be. We never know.
And will it be, you know, an offshoot again with, you know, more Chloe, Nadine, Sam stuff? Will it be Nate's daughter? We don't know.
Yeah, we really don't know where they're going to go with this or whether they're... I mean, we know there's an Uncharted being made.
Yeah, we've known that for years.
And it's not at Naughty Dog.
Well documented fact.
But we don't know what's going on with it. So, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
We will. That we will. What else major? Oh, I'll tell you what wasn't the event, but comes out probably the day this podcast comes out, is Kenna.
Oh, Kena Bridge of Spirits. Yeah. Hype.
That's our. Let's talk about that. What's your? I'm actually. This will be the first new game this year. I'm like gonna play.
Oh, nice.
And keen for.
Nice. Yeah, it looks really sick. It's been the marketing for it's been a bit dead recently though. Like they've not really shown a great deal, but the stuff that they do show looks really fucking cool. Every time you get like a new clip of a cutscene and you see like that animation style and the just the visuals and everything and the anime, like it just looks so polished and so nice. And gameplay wise, like it looks actually like complex and interesting, like in terms of like your combat and when you're in like, you know, boss environments or like when you're moving around the environment, like the way that you've got to think about stuff. Like it just looks really interesting as a concept. And I'm interested to see just what the story is about. And like what I really want from the game is to make like for it to make me feel something. I want like by the end to feel like really attached to, you know, the main character and the world and just the whole aura that the game sort of gives off. I want to be attached to all of that stuff. I don't want to come to the end and be like, that was really fun, but I don't really feel anything. It's one of those games where I would love to feel, you know, a lot of emotion during it. And I think that the cutscenes seem to evoke that sense of emotion. And so hopefully.
Well, it takes you to a magical world. It's very, yeah, there's a lot of magic to it that sort of draws me in, and I can see what you mean by like you just want to feel attached to the world and the world building and atmosphere, and feel like you're in a real place. Like it has that sort of charm to it. Yeah. So I'm really excited. Obviously, it's like half the price of a regular game if you were to go on the PlayStation Store. So it's not a massive AAA game.
Yeah, it's an indie game. I'm pretty sure. It's just Ember Lab make it. I don't know what they're known for, but yeah, it's definitely a smaller game, which is nice though. That's nice.
I like those. I actually like that about it.
Yeah, it's nice to have those smaller games, and it's clearly got a focus. It's clearly knows what it wants to do. So that is what is so exciting about it. I think it's like it's an indie game that's got a focus. It knows what it wants to do, and it's not trying to be this massive AAA game that's like appealing to everybody. Like it's just doing the thing that it wants to do, and it just happens to appeal to me. So I'm just sort of excited to see, how they execute, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited for it. I haven't watched a lot of the trailer stuff. I think I just remember its first big one. I was like, that looks fucking cool. I like the atmosphere. I like the world and the vibe it's giving off. And yeah, it's going to be good. I'm excited to play that. They didn't show that. They didn't show Forbidden West either. Nope. Did they at all? And was that George's prediction that they would show Horizon, or was that yours?
My prediction was that they wouldn't show it.
That they wouldn't show it? Okay. And George said they would.
I think so, yeah.
Didn't he go like, there's something about Horizon?
Oh, they'll stop the show midway through and they'll say something about Horizon and then they'll carry on with the show. That was his prediction. His very specific prediction. They didn't do that.
They didn't do it. He was very off.
Yeah, he was pretty off. They did quite the opposite of that. They didn't mention it at all. But that is what I thought, just because it's coming out. We got a release date. We've seen so much. I don't think they needed to dedicate any time to it.
No, you don't need another trailer until you're like the launching, the marketing campaign and all that is like right for launch, right before.
Yeah. You drop one of those trailers, early to mid February, and then you're good. You just keep posting little clips and stuff on Twitter, and it's all good. Yeah,
and then let me see like the game artwork on like a fucking billboard and on buses and shit, and let's just the fucking full hype.
That's wild though, that it's not long and we're gonna be playing a new fucking Horizon game, and it will have been 5 fucking years since that first one. 5 fucking years. Shit. It does not feel like 5 years since Horizon. What the actual fuck?
That's crazy.
That's wild. That is wild. And Tyler's disconnected. Just out of pure excitement. He was just too hyped. He couldn't take it anymore. He had to his internet's been completely cut loose after just realizing that he's going to get to play Horizon soon. His shoes got too big. They knocked the router off the table. Is where we're at right now. So, yeah, that's what's happening.
And we're back.
Yeah.
How mad did you get?
Not too.
Damn it! I was hoping for another angry moment where you lose your mind that the internet cut out. Like that's where the "Hey man" came from, where you just like throw your mic down and you scream "Hey man."
Yeah, I do remember that.
It's my donation alert.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah,
it's classic. Ben really doesn't like it though.
Why is that?
Makes him feel sick. I don't know. I think it's just the way I say it. It's just so like.
It makes him feel sick. What?
It's just like I say it so aggressively. I just he doesn't like it.
Okay, that's weird. That's so fucking. That's such a weird thing for him to even. Yeah. Anyway, I've got an idea for you. This is just what I've been thinking about. This is so off topic of what we're just talking about. I had this thought in my head of what you think the possibility of this would be, and this is a hypothetical. This isn't a real suggestion, but it is a real suggestion. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hypothetically, 4 Pillars next meetup. What are the odds you reckon the Brampton Holt would be a location for it? As in, if we call them up, like, hey, look, could we book this, like the space, like maybe an area of the outside space for an event? Obviously you can't rent, like hire the inside out, but
potentially. The only issue I have with that is like, me and Ethan talked about it. I think for an official proper meetup, I think we want to do it in a really official way, because I think it was really really dumb and dangerous the way we did it before. Even now, like we're even bigger. I feel like me and Ethan just said, the thing that we agreed on was that doing it at like a major event. So if we were ever going to do another meetup, we like a proper one, we do it at like an EGX, so we coincide it and we just get a booth there or something. So it was something really official. People obviously got to pay to get into that event, and then we can have a proper meetup and everything. But if we were to do like a meetup where we got
the mods,
so it's the mods, so it's like that in between of like not just the tight knit friend group of like the group chat, but it's also not the whole community, but like anyone that's in mod chat, for example, like any of our mods. If we were to do that, because then that'd be way more people, then I'd say I'll probably be down for that. I reckon that'd be cool. Yeah,
okay. Now that wasn't the full suggestion. I'll say the end of it, but like my only thought, if it's like, I get what you're saying, like it could be official. Was it dangerous the way we did it last time?
I think so, because anyone could show up, and also it's just it's not necessarily like, I don't know.
I don't think we could improve that meetup a fuck ton. No disagreements there. I just am trying to understand what your thoughts of it were.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's not even necessarily for my own safety, although that's part of it. Obviously there's a lot of fucking people that like hate. Do you feel unsafe
last time, or is it more upon reflection?
It's just reflection. I didn't feel unsafe, but it's just thinking about it, I'm like, that was kind of dumb, I think. But also it's like, on top of that is like Elva being there as well. Like I'm worried about, because she gets a lot of weird shit. Like I'm just worried that you could get some dodgy like people, I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That makes sense.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like, with my family being there as well, like, my mum and dad were there with, like, their dogs, and it's like, what if there is some, like, weird person that just does hate me? And they're just like, I don't know.
But
it's just
bro.
like...
But hey, bro.
Yeah, but it only takes a second for some dodgy shit. So it's like, so me and Ethan were like, yeah, it probably makes sense. And Ethan felt too, like, he was like, yeah, that was a bit dumb, I guess. So
I don't disagree. I think
like,
we can do it way better. But I don't necessarily think... I mean, maybe we could coincide with an event, but I feel like I like the idea of booking out a venue. I like the way Colin and Last Day Media did theirs, because they sort of sold tickets and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you do it in a way that's like that, then you're going to be in a much better position, because we just did not prepare. I mean, we can, if we want to go through the effort of planning everything, and we're going to have a venue, we're going to make sure we've got, security, we're going to make sure people can pay to get in and stuff like that. That's obviously going to be a lot on our end to deal with, which I'm also not going to do. But
I know.
if the easier way is just we join up with an event. So if EGX is happening in London, or wherever it happens, in Birmingham, I can't remember where they do it now, but we just go to that, and we have an event there, and we have a booth, and that means we can, if we actually have merch, we could actually sell merch, which we're not going to have because we don't make it, but
I mean, we could do that. We could definitely order something to get made,
but we won't do it.
Here's the thing, though, if we were to do another event, I feel like we could definitely do that, and I would do all of those things you're saying. We won't. I would definitely do all of those things.
Well, we could talk about it. I mean, as long as it's not what we did before, then I'm cool with whatever we decide to do. And
agree. Oh no, it would be bigger. It would be bigger, way bigger this time.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about it with the guys, and by the guys I mean Ethan.
Yes.
And George will just follow along. Yeah.
But we can also get like Eddie and Sheps involved, or any of the other friends we have. Like, we can have other friends and guests and shit like that. Yeah, I think that would be good. But here's my suggestion. This is what I was going to say, and this is just like a wild curveball I was going to throw at you. Just to add to the event, if I bring along one David Jerome to play a live set at the meetup, like, you know what I mean, where it'd be like a bit of an event where, like, we have mics and we get up and we do a bit of a Four Pillars podcast live.
Yeah.
Chat Q&A with people in the audience, get them a mic, and we just have a bit of a chat, and then David plays some songs. Eddie and Sheps come up and do something. We can do sort of some bits and bobs, like make it a bit of a show.
Yeah. For sure.
And then afterwards, like, all right, like, now it's sort of like a bit of a mingle, meet and greet type thing after the show. You know what I mean? A bit more official.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, if we had the Brendan Holt, like, we could get them, be like, hey, free musician, and he can play and anyone can watch, but like, just let everyone, like, the mods and shit, and we just all meet up and we all go to Brendan Holt and have beers, and David's playing. Like, how fucking sick that would be.
True. Yeah. It's definitely
I was just thinking about it more as a show. That was my sort of idea of like, we had a bit of a stage. Well, not a stage, but we had mics, and it was, way more official. I agree with that. With that. I mean, we did the smart thing where we didn't just give out the address of where it was going to be. People had to sort of submit their interest and stuff.
True, but I sort of just accepted everyone because I didn't know who everybody was. So I was like, well, I can't just say no to someone.
But I mean, we had a record of all their details, is what I mean. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like
true, yeah. Like, we had like their address. And
yes.
But they could easily have faked it. They could easily have faked it.
They could, but the whole point is you sort of like have some sort of reasonable idea. Like, you'd be able to tell someone's like, that's a fake fucking name and email address, and you know what I mean? Where, of course, people could really go for the fake, but I just mean, I don't know. I still thought it was safer than what it could have been. It wasn't the unsafest, but it also wasn't the safest.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah. Especially at the time, like, we were much smaller then. Not much smaller, but like it was different. I don't know. I feel like the community's grown quite a bit now. We do a lot more.
Yeah, we do. Oh, it's definitely grown a lot more. Yeah, it's much bigger now. And because we've done one before, and the stories from it, how exciting it was, and how much people loved it. Like, now the people that were a part of the community but didn't go, because like, I don't know, I don't know if it'd even be fun. And then they hear all the stories, like, fuck, that sounds so sick. I wish I had gone. That's also the aura about it's there. So I feel like the next one, we've got to nail it, because you don't have the mystique and that specialness that is the first one. where it can get away with sort of being unorganized and shit. You know what I mean? It's got to be well organized and well run because we've all met before and it's happened before.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got to figure something out.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, that's it. Anyway, back on track to this PlayStation
event. What the fuck were we talking about?
Spider-Man 2.
Oh.
Spider-Man 2 trailer. What? Give me your thoughts on that.
Spider-Man 2. It was cool because I wasn't expecting it. It was one of those unexpected, out of nowhere sort of teasers that just sort of popped up. That was cool. And it was, about what you expect, but it was hype to see it sort of thing. Like, we knew that Spider-Man 2 would have both Peter and Miles in some capacity front and center in the game. And we knew that Venom would be making an appearance in some way. We just didn't know how, or what it would look like or whatever. So that was really cool. And then obviously you got the other voice over in there as well, which a lot of people are saying is probably Kraven, which is interesting. So that's like giving us a lineup of some villains we might be seeing in Kraven, Venom, and potentially Green Goblin if Norman Osborn's going to take on that role. And so that was just really fun. It was a really cool vibe. And then seeing Venom there, that reveal at the end was just fucking hype as shit. Really exciting. And it also looks great. And also, they finally made Peter's suit red instead of orange, which is incredible. And I'm beyond excited. So, yeah, good shit. Good shit.
So it's safe to assume we'll be switching between both characters, or do you think we'll just play as Peter?
Yeah.
Like, what are your sort of thoughts on that?
I have no fucking clue. I mean, I've always said before, like, switching between characters, I don't really like that much.
I'm not a big fan of it either.
Yeah, like GTA 5, I think would have been better with one character playable. That's just me. I just don't like managing multiple characters at once. It takes me out of the game. I feel like I'm not invested in... Because when you play a game, it's it's role playing. Like you go into a game and you get immersed in that person. Like when you play God of War, you're immersed in Kratos and his journey, and you feel like you're there with him, and that's your you're there too, and that's your story. But when you've got multiple characters, I feel like you're kind of aware you're playing a game. Like you're switching between characters, and it feels like I'm playing a game.
It's more of like watching a TV show or a movie in that way rather than being immersed in the world. Like, there can be good ways. I thought GTA was the best way to do it. Like, I always felt like when I played GTA 5's campaign, it's like watching a TV show, like a Breaking Bad or, like it's definitely got that sort of vibe. And I
5
feel
is
like
definitely one of the better ones, for sure.
But, like, when you talk about there's some other games from other companies that I don't like the way, you know what I mean? I was going to say it. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I know
what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good one. So it's interesting, but I think if you do it right, you could do it right. And a lot of people, I don't think, like my take of like I'd rather play as one character. A lot of people don't. Whenever I bring it up, they're like, "What the fuck do you mean? You don't play as Peter and Miles?" And I'm like, "No, that's not what I mean. I don't like managing two inventories, and I don't like managing two sets of skill trees, and I just don't like."
I agree with you. I
end up investing my time in one.
Two sets of skill trees is the worst one when you have to go to menus like that, and you're like, "Wait,
yeah.
Who did I get that upgrade and that move for? Which one was that?" And then like you forget in combat, you're like, "Oh shit, wait, I can't do that move that I do," or you know what I mean? It can be really annoying because it's one thing when you're mastering a game, especially with the combat system, but then when you've got to almost know two different ways to play the game all at the same time, that's annoying to me.
Yeah, it's irritating, and it's so maybe Peter will be the main character, but we will play as Miles from time to time, and he'll have a preset set of abilities, but I don't know, because I feel like there's a demand to play as Miles, so I feel like not like sidelining him would maybe be taken wrong, so I feel like you kind of got to play as both.
It's a great point you made. It's a great point in the world we live in.
Yeah, it's I mean I fucking love Miles too, so I'm not, it's, I don't know. I would rather play as just one character and have the other be. I mean, obviously it's Spider-Man 2, so I'd rather be playing as Peter as like the main character. With he has the bunch of different suits, different abilities, different gadgets that you can customize, upgrade, whatever. And then you play as Miles as well, but he doesn't have all that because I just don't like managing two. So that would be my only thing. But if you do have both and you do have to manage both, I just hope it's integrated in a way that like feels good and doesn't annoy me.
I don't think it will be. I think you'll hate it.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be fun. I can't wait to hate Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, James has said it. You've heard it here first here on the As Always podcast, episode 150. James hates Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Hates it. Can't stand it, in fact. Yeah, I do agree with you. I think I'd rather just be one character, but I think everything you just said is right. There's probably no way to do that. Miles is in it. You've got to play as both. And it probably would just be taken the wrong way, you know?
Yeah, people would not be too happy about that.
Yeah, but I still need to finish Miles Morales as well, so...
Wait, really? You've not finished it? Fuck,
No.
that game's like 4 hours long.
I know. I know.
It's like your perfect game. It's like a game that is so short that you don't need to even
my
play it.
perfect game is nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like at this point, I feel like I used to say that. I was like, I need shorter games. I don't have time. Now it's like, I don't... The only game I could play is nothing. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's just where we are. It's taken me more than 12 months to finish Final Fantasy VII.
It's ridiculous.
Like, I just
It's
can't.
not as long as it probably could have taken you, though, to be fair. You've done quite well.
Yeah, true. I guess so.
Yeah. Well, you're not done yet, so...
I'm not done yet. But I am right at the end. Like, the next time I play the game will be the last, like... part of
it depends. It fucking depends, because if you keep playing it the way you have been, I don't know if you're going to finish it.
But you
without
keep saying
being able to
that,
put it
but
on
I
easy
keep somehow getting through it. I keep somehow...
Trust me. The rest of the game, I can understand. I can understand you brute forcing your way through the rest of the game, but the final two bosses, I just can't... The final boss, maybe you could as well, but the boss before that, like, I understood everything in the game, and I couldn't do it. It was so hard. And I was playing on normal.
Yeah, okay.
It's
I'm playing on
fucked.
normal as well, so...
It's fucked.
Right.
You're gonna have to put it down to easy or learn the game. There's no way.
But I feel like I learnt a lot in that last stream, to be fair. Like, you realise in that last stream I did, I knew nothing about this game and how it operates. And to be fair, by the end I was figuring it out. Because I remember you even
put some
said...
materia on, that was nice.
You were like, oh, I see how you're actually learning. You're actually learning, Tyler.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you're gonna forget all of it.
I know, that's the funny part. That's the best part about this whole experience with Final Fantasy VII Remake, is every time I play it, it's like I've got to relearn the whole game. But it's also why I don't know anything about the game we're a year in, because I just don't play it enough in one consecutive sort of run.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, it'll be soon. I don't know when it'll be.
Oh my god. I can't wait. Eventually you'll finish it.
Eventually.
And I'll get that sweet release.
That sweet release.
Yeah.
It's just one of those games I had to stream because I'd stream so much of it. Like, I can't just finish it now off stream. I've got to finish it on stream. And everyone, like, for whatever reason, loves watching Final Fantasy VII streams, so...
Yeah, I think it's just me. I think I'm the only one. I just am obsessed with it. It's the only game I can finish and then start again straight away.
Yeah, well, you
like
just
I'm a
need
fucking
to...
child.
You just need to tell me when you're available, and that's when I'll stream, because there's no point in me streaming at the end without you there.
Oh my god, could you imagine? I'd be so depressed. That would not be good.
That's so weird. Oh, if I wasn't there at your stream, Tyler, I'd be so depressed.
If I missed that, it just wouldn't be the same to watch it afterwards. I'd feel like I've missed everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, don't worry. We'll make sure you're around. Don't worry, mate. Don't you worry.
That's good.
What else happened at this event? Wolverine.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I don't give a fuck about. Here's my hot take for today. Tell you what I don't give a fuck about Wolverine, bro.
Why? Wolverine's so sick.
Why
don't you care about it?
Because the X-Men movies mostly all sucked, except Logan, really.
No.
Yeah, they all suck. I love Hugh Jackman. But also, I fucking love Hugh Jackman. He's a national treasure.
The X-Men property is great. Like, X-Men is great. The cartoon was good. They've got some really interesting comic stories.
You would like a
Wolverine
cartoon, wouldn't you? But I don't do that. I'm not sure if you're well aware. We've been
hey, man. If the girls catch me watching the Wolverine cartoon, they might not go out with me on a date. Then what will I do?
Can we talk about that Last Four Pillars podcast? Because that shit was wild.
It was so funny.
People loved it. I couldn't believe we were getting non-stop clips, messages.
Yeah, so many clips.
Of how, like, that is maybe the most clippable episode in history of podcasts.
Oh, it was amazing. It was so amazing. There was so many clips.
So much happened that I forgot about George saying, that whole... I forgot that happened until I saw the clip. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. We lost our minds.
That was so funny. I just love George's reaction. He's like, what? And he's just like freaking out that he fucking said it. It's amazing.
I love that people are asking, like, what did you say? I wonder what he said. I said, well, it's a public video you can watch and find out.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to have it on that video. You know what I mean? Yeah. If people want to know what it is, we're not hiding it, but I don't want to, like, promote it now.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's fucking funny.
It was a funny moment.
Such a good show.
Yeah, such a good show. But yeah, one of those memes was... Tyler can't get a date if he's watching cartoons.
We made it. We turned it into... Oh my God. So George is doing a Road to Halo Infinite series. And he started with Ben doing Halo 1 and 2. And now, because it's 4-player campaigns after that, me and Jas have joined on. And so it's the 4 of us. And the amount of shit we talk, it's so dumb. The dumbest fucking memes have come out of that. And one of them that we came up with last week was that... was that if you're too busy... Wait, no, what was it? It was like something dumb. The meme was just like, if you're too busy watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, then you need to go fight in a war or something to harden up. It was derailed to this point where it was like, you know, if someone has done something bad, it's probably because they're watching too many cartoons. And it was just the dumbest fucking meme but we're all doing it in your voice as well. Yeah, so like it's even more dumb.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't make any sense. Oh, it was so fucking funny.
Hey man.
Such dumb shit.
I love how every impression always starts with hey man.
Hey man.
Hey man, just that thing I would say a lot, especially like 2016 and now it just forever exists.
Hey man.
Any impression of me must start with hey man. I'm not doing it, man.
So fucking funny. I love this community and our dumb fucking humor.
Yeah, but literally like everything I say and do is a meme. And that's what's well established now. It took me years to realize that I just do anything and people are like, that's funny. People used to be so scared of me. What happened to that? Now everyone's like, no, we can laugh at Tyler now. You know?
We just bully Tyler all the time.
We can just bully Tyler.
Yeah. Hey, man.
What the fuck were we talking about?
PlayStation.
Oh, Wolverine. That's what we're talking about.
Wolverine, man.
Wolverine, yeah.
If I wanted fucking claws for fucking hands, man, I'd fucking go outside and fucking do it, wouldn't I?
That was just not good, James. That was not a good one of those. You're supposed to like come up with something.
I'd go outside and I would do it.
You just went with, I'll do it.
Hey, man, I'll fucking do it.
Yeah, you'll
Don't
do
know
it.
how, man, but I'll fucking do it.
Well, this is what I would have done if I was going to do that. Maybe you'd be like, "Hey, man, if I wanted Wolverine claws, I'd go fucking stick metal in my hands myself and run around outside."
I'd go stick metal in my hands like a fucking man, no fucking tears, straight in the skin, and then I'll fucking go and claw some people up, mate.
Oh, that was a good one. That was much better.
Yeah, I redeemed it there.
That was much better. That was so good.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Such a good meme. Such a good meme. I love it.
Yeah.
I was howling at the thread Ollie and Josh had.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, my God. That was funny. Yeah. Tremendous stuff. But yeah, Wolverine, I don't know, man. I just don't... It's not a superhero that excites me. Like, there's other superheroes that I would, like, be pumped about if there was a game. Like, I understand as a property, Wolverine will do well, but I'm like, it's not, like, I like Spider-Man better, so, like, knowing a Spider-Man game's kind of, like, that's fucking cool. If there was imagine another Marvel hero that you could do a game with that might be really cool, but actually done well. You know what I mean? By Insomniac, not, like, those
I feel like Wolverine's the one. I that I wanted. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Mainly because, like, when you get a character like that, you can do like
a lot with it. I guess I know what you're saying.
The combat is gotta be fucking intense. Like being able to just like fucking.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. The combat will be fucking amazing when you think about it, won't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a ton of fun. And I think Logan as a character is so interesting to like tell a story with if they can get it right. If they can have like a very introspective story. It depends whether this is a game where like Logan is the only character or whether you're going to have other mutants or X-Men present. So I'm interested to see where they go with that. But I think just from a gameplay standpoint, it's going to be incredible to play. Like, even when you look at X-Men Origins Wolverine, the game, movie was shit. The game was really good. And that was an old game that was just like a movie adaptation. When you've got a game like this that is set to be like its own thing, it's Insomniac, it's PlayStation, where they can take like that gameplay concept is just like, they can take it anywhere. So I'm just excited for that.
Yeah, you're right. Like, from a gameplay point of view, for sure. I just think I'm just talking purely from the character side of things from my end. Like, and yeah, I know Logan's a great character, but there's just other heroes I'd be jumping on board with first. I mean, I hate that there's an Avengers game that's just shit. You know what I mean? Like, that pisses me off.
It's because you can't make an Avengers game. I think it would suck no matter how you made it.
I don't know. I don't think that's true.
I just don't think you could. I don't think you could get that visceral
do you not
power
think you could make
it?
So you don't think it's like there would be a way to do like a Captain America game?
I mean, I think you could, but I don't know how interesting it would be to play, because it would feel just like a reskin of something else, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how would you make it? Because you could do like an action.
It doesn't have to be an open world game. It could be quite like an Uncharted, like more a linear.
I mean, yeah, for sure. If you're gonna do Captain America, it can't be open world, because it would just be, what would you be doing?
Weird.
You'd be driving an army truck across the world. I don't know.
Imagine being like New York City and you're just like hijacking cars as Steve Rogers,
just driving them around. Yeah.
That would be weird,
no, I feel like it's just too difficult to do a game like that. I feel like I just don't know what you would do. I feel like the combat could be really fun with a Captain America, but then I don't know what story you would tell. I don't know, because I feel like Captain America also is so like central to the Avengers. So if you don't have the other Avengers and you don't have his whole leadership there,
yeah,
like, how
you're
do you
right.
do that?
Yeah, I was just throwing spitballs because that's my favorite superhero.
Yeah, no, I know. I like
what do you
Captain
think of this
America.
Guardians game then?
It looks.
Is that Square Enix as well? Is that the same?
It's
as
Square, yeah.
Okay, so it's like the same team that did Avengers and shit. Is that right, or is it like
No, it's a different team.
Okay, but is it sort of similar in its mechanics and like engine and everything?
I don't know. It looks similar, but I think it's. I know it's single player, so it's not like a multiplayer live service thing. It's a single player game.
See, I didn't even know Avengers was that, to be honest.
Well, you didn't know it was?
Not really. I didn't really think about it. I didn't know that it was a live service multiplayer game.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's so bad. Like, I've seen some gameplay of it recently, and like, it's just like these people running around this open like space that's all covered in snow, and they're just like spazzing around because the animations suck, and they're just like, it just looks terrible. It looks fucking awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, Guardians is it's single player. I don't believe it's a live service. So they're trying to tell a story there. It's just weird. Like, all of the characters seem like knockoff MCU versions. I don't really like that. And yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird. There's dialogue options in there, I think.
Okay. Trying to be like a Mass Effect.
Yeah, it almost comes across like a bit of a weird Mass Effect. And like, you've got, like, it's obviously a bit funny, but I don't really think it's funny. It didn't make me laugh, like none of the trailers. I don't know.
Yeah.
The delivery's not really there. It just feels like I'm looking at like these fake MCU versions that aren't like actually MCU versions, and it's just a bit weird. A bit like Avengers in that sense. So yeah, I'm just sort of not into that really.
Okay. Yeah. I skipped the trailer because I was like, I'm not interested in playing that. It'll never happen.
Yeah, no. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay, well, is there nothing? God of War. Is there anything else other before we get into God of War?
Was there anything else? I feel like there was something else that I did a reaction. Oh, Forspoken was shown off a bit, but that's not.
Oh yeah, it does look really cool. Though. That
cool.
did look really like a lot of fun. I don't really have much to say on that other than it's just a game that I will definitely pick up when it comes out, and it looks interesting. You know.
Yeah.
So like I don't have any predictions. It's not one of those games like you care to predict. You're just like, oh, it looks like fun. And I'll play when it comes out.
The game could be a lot of anything. So
yeah.
It looks cool.
And then there's an Alan Wake remaster, which is sort of cool. Like Alan Wake, I haven't played that game in forever. Like that.
I've never played it before.
It's pretty good. Yeah,
I heard a lot of people say it was good.
It's not like some fucking, oh my god, this is one of the best games I've ever played, but it's good. Solid game. Worth it. If you have the time.
I'll have to play it.
I think you'll like it more than I like it, to be fair though.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, I think you'll find it actually quite interesting the way they tell the story. because it's like a novelist, and you're like playing his novel. Almost,
Yeah,
in a way, but you're not. It's hard to explain because he sort of narrates it while you're playing.
Yeah. I saw that in the trailer. It looks interesting the way that they do it.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah.
So I think you'll like it. But yeah, God of War Ragnarok. That's the big news coming out of this
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation event.
Big.
Huge. I mean, this is the biggest game of any announced game. This is the biggest one right now that currently exists. There's no Red Dead or GTA on the horizon that's been announced. So I'd say God of War Ragnarok is number one, the biggest game. I mean, Halo's gone down the shit, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah, Halo's not the not even
it's
close.
it's not what it was. You know what I mean? Like when you thought about the hype for Halo 3 in 2007, that was like pop culture mainstream. There was nothing bigger than Halo 3 coming out that year. That was the biggest property. Whereas now it's like, Halo Infinite, I guess there's a Halo coming out, but who cares? Horizon's obviously a big deal, but God of War, like that's the big one.
Yeah.
And it looks fucking incredible. It looks so good.
It looks fucking fantastic. It looks like God of War should. I think that's the most positive thing from it is I wasn't sure how much they were going to change it or mix it up or what they were going to do, but it looks like God of War. And that's what's so exciting about it. I think we talked about this on Clubhouse a little bit. But
like the true sequels, how Sony do true sequels?
Yeah. Just the way it feels like you're returning to this world with these characters and you're just getting on with it. Like, it's just picking up where we left off. And it's like jumping into, like, the second season of a TV show. Like, you're back with everyone that you got to know. It's a new story. Continuing from where we left off.
That's what I love about those Uncharted games,
like,
and I think we talked about that in that Clubhouse episode. Was like when you go playing, I could binge the Uncharted games, and I feel like I'm watching season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4 of a TV show because it just flows and connects so perfectly. But you get that few years of upgrades that, like, you're playing a sequel, and this is definitely improved mechanically, but at the same time, it feels so familiar, and that's what Horizon Forbidden West looks like. That's what God of War Ragnarok looks like. You look like you're playing a Horizon game. You look like you're playing a God of War game that you know and love. And, they've just improved and built upon what already exists. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. You know what I mean? There's no need to totally refresh the mechanics in the engine. I don't know why people like that shit. It's fucking so annoying and weird to me. And it's a very redacted company thing to do.
Yeah, it is fucking just changing everything, but also not refining it either. Like, just like doing a brand new thing and it's shit, and then moving on and doing another brand new thing and it's also shit. Yeah,
and the only time, like, when was it at its peak? Let's be honest. Redacted company's main redacted franchise. There was the best game in that franchise was the one that's like literally just took everything that was good about the previous game and then improved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's when it was at its height. Yeah. When it was just doing that. Just improving. And then
they changed everything and everyone's like, well, everyone asked for them to refresh. And it's like, no, we didn't. I thought it was perfect. I thought what they did was great. No one asked them to change it. Or people hate this new one now because they changed it, but all of them were the ones asking to change it. No one did. And the people that do it are the same people that are like putting pressure on 343 to make a Halo game that's not for Halo fans. You guys want to change? No, we didn't. The only people asked for change are people that don't buy and play Halo. We're like, I would play Halo if you changed it. Oh, you mean it not be Halo? Let's listen to people that don't pay for our game. And our fans can go fuck themselves. Stupid. That's such a weird consumer mentality that comes around. And Sony are nailing it with these sequels because Spider-Man 2 is going to be like Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. And just build upon it and improve it. Same with Horizon and now God of War. It looks amazing. Even some of the simple like traversal mechanics. You had a lot of boat steering. Like, that's a big way of traversing the world of God of War in multiple realms. Whereas in this, you've got exactly that again. It's there as well. But also, there's also the fucking sled mechanic you saw.
Yeah, the wolf
and it's like,
sled.
that'll be the cool new way to, like, traverse the world that they've added in. It's like, yes, everything you played, that's in there. But also, we've added in this fucking cool thing. And all the, like, combat and all the things we got in God of War 1, you're going to start with, the fucking Blades of Chaos. We're going to have all those things already and then build upon that. And, I'm sure we'll probably play a bit more have a bit more control of Atreus. Potentially playing as him, maybe not, but certainly, like, he was, like, a mechanic of the first game in combat. There'll be more so in this. What do you think of this? Because it was a very, like, story-heavy trailer. Like, they really dove into the story of God of War Ragnarok. What are your thoughts on what we saw there? Because obviously Thor's a major villain, played by Ryan Hurst, who's an incredible actor, from Sons of Anarchy fame.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it was dumb how they revealed Thor. That was really stupid.
That was
posting a tweet, but that's whatever.
You should have just shown him then in that trailer.
Yeah, just show him in the fucking trailer instead. But whatever, it's fine. So yeah, I mean, the trailer was sick. There was so much going on, but I also don't know what the story almost is about. Like, I feel like I've seen a decent peek into it, but like I don't know what the story is really about. We know that it's about Atreus wanting to find more about himself, like he wants to discover who he is and who he's meant to be. But then you've also got this subplot as well of Kratos wanting to steer him away from fighting and away from war. He wants to teach him that there's more to being a god and more to life than fighting and starting conflict. And I think that's really interesting, and that's going to drive a wedge between them, because Atreus is pretty headstrong and wants to get out there. He feels like he should be doing more. And that's going to be interesting to see that whole aspect. And then obviously you got like Freya wanting to get revenge, and then you got the conflict with the whole pantheon of Norse gods. So that's all very interesting stuff. But I want to know what is the driving force between their journey in this game. Like, where are they going? And I guess we'll find that out as we play. But the driving force between God of War 1 was always getting to the top of that mountain, and that drove forward the character growth between the two of them.
Well, I feel like there's some mysteries about who Atreus is, and there'll be some sort of moment, because obviously God of War 1, spoilers, ends with Thor showing up, like that moment that's in this trailer. So I feel like that'll be the start moment. I feel like it's going to pick up from that moment. That'll be the start of the game. So there'll be something that happens in that event that potentially we'll actually learn more about who Atreus is in that, or there'll be some sort of mystery or question raised about him, and they'll have to go somewhere to find answers to that. And that will lead them to quite a number of different realms that we haven't seen, because they said all 9 realms are in this game, correct? That's big. It's also the last one, which we talked about on Clubhouse. You were saying that it was similar to the way they did God of War 1 and 2, where that sort of wrapped up the story, and 3 was sort of like almost an epilogue game. Yeah.
So it's interesting to see they're sort of putting all that into God of War Ragnarok. And I say, I'm just looking at the trailer now. I've not actually rewatched this trailer on the PlayStation website in 4K, and fuck me, this looks so good.
It looks unbelievably good.
I'm just looking at this one shot where Atreus is running ahead, Kratos is walking behind, they're in this village. It just looks... I need this fucking game. I need to play this. I miss God of War so much, man. I need to play this shit. This looks so fucking good. I need to replay God of War as well. I'm gonna have to like stream that before this one comes out or something. Fuck, it looks so good. It looks so good.
It looks incredible. And the even just what I love about it, what's so iconic, was the main art piece of God of War 1, and they've done it. They've nailed this Ragnarok one as well. Their big like cover art they've released is fucking great as well.
Yeah. It looks really nice.
Kratos looks fucking sick with his fucking cape, like fur cape thing he's got.
Yeah, the cape looks cool.
And Atreus has gotten tall as fuck. He's like really tall.
Yeah.
In this, like, because especially when you see him standing next to the dwarves, which he was smaller than in God of War 1, he's so much taller than the dwarves, and this is like twice their height. So obviously, I mean, he's obviously Loki, so he's obviously like got giant's blood.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what he's like as an older like kid now. It's gonna be really interesting. I really like Atreus. I think he's a really cool character. I got really attached to him in God of War, so I'm interested to see like what he's gonna be like now he's a little bit older, and that relationship with Kratos. There's a lot to do, and it's just really exciting. There's so much cool shit.
I think you're 100% right. I'll tell you what I'm excited about. I'll tell you what I'm really excited about is like the potential that's there for like the shock factor for some story moments. Like what I want, like if you would ask me, Todd, what's your ideal, like what do you think the fans really want out of God of War Ragnarok? And what I would say is what I think the fans would want to react best to is if at the beginning of the game, like Thor comes in and he kills Kratos, and that all the trailers we saw are lies and we're playing as Atreus. throughout the whole game.
You think that's what fans want?
And he travels to Seattle, where he will then hunt down and kill Thor and his family. I mean, Asgard. That's what I think. That's what I think fans want. I think fans want that. That's what I think.
Yeah, that does sound like what fans want. I think you're right.
I think they'll react well to it as well, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think you're dead right, especially after The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
I think everyone would love that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't even think about that. That's a great point. That would be... Yeah, that would... Imagine if they did, like, kill Kratos, like, a quarter of the way through the game.
I mean, it'd be fucking ballsy as shit.
Too ballsy. Way too ballsy. Yeah. What are we doing?
Too ballsy, yeah.
Well, The Last of Us Part... I love that I'm making fun of The Last of Us Part 2 when I thought... I agree with that decision. I thought it was the best decision, and I thought it's one of the best games of all time.
Well, it depends on the context, doesn't it? It
Yeah,
works in The Last of Us Part 2 because it works.
It would absolutely not work.
No, it would not work here. It would be like, that's, silly move. But, yeah, I mean, there's so much... Like, I feel like this trailer is barely even, like, showing us... Like, it's not showing us much, even though it feels like we've seen a lot.
Yeah. I think Kratos dies in this game at the end.
Yeah, you've said. I don't think he does, but,
It doesn't mean he's dead forever, because you made the point of, like, the next game he could be, like... You could still even be playing as him, but, like, he's coming back to life in some sort of hell or underworld or something, I just think at the end of the game, he will die. Not necessarily he can't come back, or he won't come back, just that's where the story will go.
Interesting. I feel like he will defy it and, like, he won't die, and that'll be the cool thing. Like, he won't die or whatever.
What if Atreus dies?
Destiny says. If Atreus dies, that would be... I feel like that's another... They also can't do that either. Because, like, Kratos, like, the whole arc he went through in God of War 1 to 3 was, like, he killed his own family. And so he has to, like, redeem himself, and he feels like, obviously it was his fault. He fucking killed his children and his wife. So it's like, he has to try and come back from that. So I feel like Atreus can't die, because it would be like he just lost a kid again. And he'd be like, well, we're back to fucking square one, I guess. Lost another fucking kid. It would be a bit weird. So Atreus can't die. I think Atreus is pretty safe. But then in saying that, maybe he's not. I don't know. It would be an easy driving force to do. Like, you kill Atreus and then Kratos goes apeshit and kills everyone. But I think that's too easy.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer in 4K as well, and it actually looks fucking bullshit. It looks fucking bullshit.
It looks so insane.
But even just the way the trailer opens, in that cave, Atreus walking in with the deer, it's like, this is But also, that's how you know how fucking big Atreus is. Like, he's walking in with that deer. It doesn't look big on him.
Yeah. And it's like it's like the silhouette looks like Loki too, with the horns and shit. That's really cool.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Hang on, I'm gonna have to get back to that.
When you see him walk in, you can just see the silhouette. It's like you can see the horns of the deer, and it looks like, you got like that Loki silhouette. That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's... I think you're overanalyzing, man. I don't think that's what it means.
It definitely does.
I'm joking.
Definitely means
I just saw that meme thing that, like, Ollie posted on Twitter today.
Oh, yeah.
About, like, people getting mad. Like, I can't believe you think they're... Why do people overanalyze?
I can't believe you think the writer means something by this. They obviously don't mean anything. Nothing means anything, and they're just saying words.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it. That's what literature's all about. Just saying meaningless words.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exciting.
This is the graphics actually look ridiculous.
It looks wild. Like, honestly, looking at just like fucking, what's the fucking severed head's name again?
Mimir.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Looking at his
Mimir.
horns when he's on the back of Kratos, like, the detail in that is just insane. Like, his horns, his face, like, the wrinkles and, like, the scars and
it's
stuff.
It's so cool when it moved and started showing Kratos walking around and it's clearly, like, proper gameplay. And it's just like, this just feels like you're jumping into God of War, but the graphics are even better, but we're back with our old friends. We're back with Kratos, we're back with Atreus. Mimir's there. I love that. I love that Mimir's there.
It's like the next leg of the journey. It's like, what it feels like is like God of War, the Norse trilogy, is one complete thing, and it's just been separated into two parts. With one obviously being graphically superior and having different mechanics and stuff, but it feels like one solid journey. I think that's what's cool. Like, if you play God of War through to the end of God of War Ragnarok, it's going to feel like one complete experience, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what's really cool about when you do a sequel in this way.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Same way Uncharted 1 to 3 feels that way. I mean, 4 included, but 4 I almost did feel like it was a bit of a, like, I don't
finale,
know. It felt, yeah, finale. I mean, to me, Uncharted 1 to 3 is like a trilogy, complete one-story trilogy type thing. I feel like 4 is almost that thing when they're like, man, we didn't really plan it to go this far, but we could definitely do another one and make lots of money. But then they just happen to add this story. And they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, as a brother, you know? But somehow it still turned out... Usually when they do that with movies, it turns out shit. That's always like the worst one when they try to like bring it back years later. But for whatever reason, it's actually the best one. And they nailed it. It's a rare occurrence. Rare occurrence.
They did nail it.
Holy shit, this game looks fucking amazing. The combat, just fucking hell. And Tears in it? Fucking this giant motherfucker.
Yeah.
I have not watched this trailer in 4K until you said that. Now, who's the character at the end that everyone's talking about? The girl?
It's... What's her fucking name? Is it something or other? I don't know.
I don't know what you're saying.
She was in Redacted anyway.
Was she? Okay.
That's the only reason I know the name.
Okay.
Angra Boda, is that her name?
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah, cool.
It's like Loki's, like in Norse mythology, like Loki's wife.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't know why I didn't know that.
So that's interesting.
I've read all the fucking Icelandic sagas. I have not done that.
Yeah, the Icelandic sagas, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah. God of War Ragnarok. Cannot wait. When do you think it comes out? I think end of next year. I do think.
Yeah,
I do
2022.
I do think it comes out in 2022. Just right at the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, looking from this trailer, it looks like the game is doing well.
Well in the way. Yeah.
Yeah, so I reckon end of 2022. We'll get it. I think that makes sense. The end of year game.
Yeah, almost, and that's still almost a 5-year cycle.
Yeah. Wow. What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's close to being shit.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Fucking wow. How has it been that long since God of War?
I know. Well, think of Red Dead Redemption 2. It's been 3 years.
That's wild. It does not feel like it's been that long since 2018 and we got all those big games.
Yeah.
Time is just going too quick. It's mostly because of the fucking pandemic, though, to be fair.
Yeah, it really fucked up time, didn't it?
Yeah, everything feels like it's... Yeah, fuck. Wow.
I feel like the world paused.
Yeah.
But then it also
like that.
didn't, you know?
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's fucking exciting.
Yeah. Can't wait. Cannot wait. All we've got left to do for this episode, James, is our Civil War.
Let's go!
I need to get a drink before we do this. I need to, be prepared.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you mean, no? I need to grab a drink.
Well, you got to do some last-minute fucking research because you don't have anything to say.
Some research? What the fuck are you talking
Hey,
about?
man!
Some
I just got to go replay KH1 so I know it.
Yeah, well, I'll go do that on my water break.
I
know you know what that's like because you can't afford your water and your water bill.
I just said that I took a sip of water.
Okay. It's just piss, ladies and gentlemen. It's not water.
No, it's not. It's just it's vodka actually. But yeah, as we wait for Tyler, I just want to say that I appreciate all of you very much for being on my side during this debate. It means a lot to me. It truly does. Because obviously we know that I'm correct. Tyler's not. He's living in the past. It's a shame. I feel sorry for him, to be honest with you. If he was bringing up, if we were doing KH2 versus KH3, I feel like he'd have an argument, especially KH3 Rewind. I feel like there would be an argument to be made. I just feel like this is just it's an uphill battle. I can't wait to see the poll. I really just hope that everyone is on my side, but we'll see. And we'll find out. Exactly what's going to happen. He's back, I think.
You ready? Ready to go?
I am. I filled that break perfectly with content. So
what'd you say? What were you saying to the people?
Nah, nothing at all. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Okay, James, do you want to explain what we're doing right now for those who may not know?
I already did. I just explained.
Oh my god.
So we're good.
Okay. Civil War arguing Kingdom Hearts 1 versus Kingdom Hearts 2. That includes both original and final mixes.
Yep.
So all encompassing. You're on the side of Kingdom Hearts 2
I am.
as the better game.
Let's
and I'm on
go!
the side of Kingdom Hearts 1.
In the correct corner is me.
Right.
Let's do it.
And I assume you explained the Patreon side of it in the poll?
I kind of roughly, yeah. I didn't really explain it. I just kind of talked about it.
Yeah, well, if you're a member for just as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/, as always, you can participate in the poll and leave your comments, and we go through the comments as well as the poll results to decide the winner at the end of the debate and episode of Civil War. Now, James, I feel like I should start purely because of chronologically where mine's the first game.
If you feel like that, then go for it.
Just to sort of set the scene for the people. And also, the only reason any of you play Kingdom Hearts or know about Kingdom Hearts is because of me and bringing it to you. So...
Well, it's really because of me, but, you know...
Well, no, it's not.
I have you to thank, but everyone else can thank me, because no one knows who you are, so... I'm sorry. We're getting into the insults early.
That was really good. I like that. I really like that. That was funny. Yeah, that was a good one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
True,
all right.
It's true, though.
So KH1, go for it. Let's start.
Oh, man, when I eat wings, I get so thirsty. So I was just
That
like
makes sense.
sculling water while you're like, all right, can you talk, Tyler? And I'm like, ugh, get this water down. I need this liquid in my body.
Yeah, go on.
I'm just
Swallow
full
it.
of spicy wings before this. God, this podcast's been all over the place. It hasn't really, but I just mean, like, I just remembered that we talked about sex education in this podcast. I'm like, that was today? That happened today? What do you mean?
Little bits.
Kingdom Hearts 1. The first game in the Kingdom Hearts series.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first game of the series I played when it came out in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 20 years ago.
Long time.
Now, Kingdom Hearts 1 is not only my favourite Kingdom Hearts game, it's my favourite game of all time. It's a huge part of my childhood. It's why I love the franchise. Now, what's great about Kingdom Hearts 1 is it establishes the world and worlds of Kingdom Hearts, our characters, and it has a clear-cut beginning to end journey that's emotional. You get to know our characters, you get to know the world from your main three with Sora, Donald, Goofy, but also the Riku Kairi. The use of Disney worlds, and when you're making a Kingdom Hearts game, it's not just about the story. You need a reason to be playing through and going to these Disney worlds, and no Kingdom Hearts game does that better than Kingdom Hearts 1, where you're searching for your friends, so you actually need to go to these worlds to see if you can find them, and you get clues throughout it, and it just has a perfect connection world to world of why you're there, and then what you do within that world. And I think it's some of the best Kingdom Hearts worlds. The only game that I think that does Disney worlds better is Kingdom Hearts 3, but Kingdom Hearts 1 uses them way better in the overarching storyline that you're going through. No game does that better than Kingdom Hearts 1. And it's quite a simple enough story while also having a lot of complexity, both with emotions, but also teaching you about, well, it's not just Disney worlds you're through, there's also the Heartless, and there's this conspiracy in the background, and there's this mystery, and, you know, when you get towards the end and you're at Holy Bastion, and then it reveals towards that end of the game with, you know, Ansem, and that whole reveal, and realizing, holy shit, this is actually a really complicated story that there's more to, and we don't know everything about yet, but it was just a teaser to it. And it could have gone anywhere, and it just ended so spectacularly. It had all the emotional beats you need. It was the perfect length. It's not too long and it's not too short. It's got difficult enough boss battles that are memorable, super memorable. Like, it doesn't need to overdo you with this is the hardest boss ever, but there are a lot of challenging bosses and memorable character moments. Like Duck, Riku, that battle is so fucking iconic. And I remember as a kid getting so fucking frustrated trying to beat that. Like, the difficulty there, the Ansem final battle from Maleficent in Hollow Bastion, Chernobog, like, it's just, all those games, there's no fat to it. It's so memorable. All the Disney worlds are fucking amazing. And they nail the way it all connects. And it just flows the best. And the story, and obviously for me, why I like it better than 2, and the reason I like it better than all the games is a lot of it is nostalgia, right? That's why it's my favourite game of all time. Because there's no game I'd rather play than Kingdom Hearts 1. And I will play it forever and always love it. And I think it's just the perfect one. But outside of nostalgia, I don't want to just use nostalgia for why I think it's the best game, why I'm arguing for it. I genuinely think it's a better game through and through. It tells a better story. It tells it in a better way. It's not ridiculously long. It doesn't retread steps. It doesn't throw a lot of bullshit extra things in that you don't really necessarily need. And not that it's not fun in Kingdom Hearts 2, because there's a lot of great things about those things. I just don't think it makes it a better game. I actually think it makes it inferior in some ways, because Kingdom Hearts achieves what it needs to achieve with less. And sometimes less is more, and Kingdom Hearts 1 is a great example of that. I also think the world's better. I think the characters are better. And I think it tells a better character arc story for all of our main characters. I think the only character that maybe has a better arc in Kingdom Hearts 2 could be Riku, potentially. But even that's pretty close, because he has a great arc in 1 as well. But I think like Sora's arc, Kyrie's, Donald Goofy, all their major characters, it's a lot clearer, a lot better. And sometimes simpler is better. And I think that's the case for Kingdom Hearts 1, in my opinion. And I think the gameplay is fucking fantastic. It's obviously they build, and you can do more in the later games, and I love the later games for what they do. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend that Kingdom Hearts 2 doesn't improve a lot of combat stuff, but I think there's nothing wrong with any of the gameplay in Kingdom Hearts 1. I think it works fantastically well. That's how I'm going to start with that.
You've raised some good points there, and the one place I'm going to concede, because I'm not even going to try and argue it, is in terms of how the Disney worlds are integrated into the story, and the design of those worlds. KH1 is my favorite, even more so than KH3 in that regard, because it's just such a well designed game in that aspect, because that was the core focus of KH1 was how do you meld Final Fantasy and Disney together in a meaningful way. And it does that incredibly well. KH2 does not. However, it does every other thing infinitely better than Kingdom Hearts 1, and that's why it's my favorite entry in the franchise. And for starters, in terms of story, I will always love KH1, but KH2 is the first time we get introduced outside of Chain of Memories, which does dip its toes in. KH2 is the first time we get introduced to everything outside of Sora's bubble. Now we've experienced that. We've experienced Sora's journey. We get to see what's outside of that, what lays waiting for him outside of his own set of friends and his own set of problems. Now we've been introduced to Ansem. Where did he come from? What caused that to happen? And when you look at Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, with all of the scenes they added after the fact that, obviously, talk about later games, those are really cool, but the stuff that was in there originally, you've got, all of the stuff with Organization 13. You learn about all of these different characters, why there were some at Castle Oblivion. You get to learn about, so where did Ansem actually come from? Why is he this guy that he is? Why is he in command of the Heartless? And learning about Xemnas, this other side to this mysterious character of Xehanort, it adds to this incredible mystery that boils and boils and boils over the course of Kingdom Hearts 2, that just sets up things for the entire rest of the franchise in such a meaningful way. I love the whole arc of discovering who Organization 13 is, and the fact that they have a connection to Sora through this character of Roxas Roxas, and the way that they introduce Roxas to me is one of the most perfect segments of any video game. And it's a controversial take, but what I love so much about Kingdom Hearts 2 is the opening 2 hours of the game where you play as Roxas, and it's this perfect example of restraint where they take their time, and Tyler is fucking cut out again, but that's all right. I'm going to keep going. No, I'm not. Okay. Just cut this out. Fuck, it's dinging in my ear. Tyler, you fucking put me off! You fuck! It's alright. Everything's fine. We'll wait. Hello.
I missed your whole fucking argument.
Yep. That's alright. I did get mad that time, actually. That's you might have a new donation alert. We'll see.
When did you realise? How far did it take for you to realise?
Well, everything was fine for a while, and then then I heard the beeping in my ear, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" So I don't know. Where did you disconnect for?
You were talking about how you thought the abysmal opening for Kingdom Hearts 2 was really good.
Okay, so the opening for Kingdom Hearts 2, let's talk about it, is the most perfect lesson in restraint and how to do satisfactory storytelling, because like you get into this open world, you get into this story and you get into this new world, and you're introduced to this new character of Roxas, and you're thinking, okay, so where is Sora? And every so often, every 10 minutes or so after you've done a little segment, I mean, it depends how long it takes you, but you get these little moments where Roxas is having these visions of Sora, and he starts to acknowledge it as well. He's like, it's that kid again. And so over the course of this hour, 2 hours, you end up having these various visions of Sora that do, in their own way, recap Kingdom Hearts 1, but you get to see how Roxas deals with that, and as it goes along, you get more mystery added. It goes from just this normal kid on summer vacation to like, okay, so now time keeps stopping, and who is this girl in this mansion, and what are the nobodies that keep showing up, and he can summon a Keyblade, and he has a dive to the heart as well, and it's Sora's though, and like what's going on there. And eventually you get all the way through, and you get to know Roxas, and you see him have this connection with this character of Axel that we saw in Chain of Memories, and eventually you get through to the end, and finally you see Sora there in the pod, and everything comes together. It's explained to you Roxas is a part of Sora. He was created when Sora unlocked his heart in Kingdom Hearts 1. It all adds up, and then Roxas finally swallows his pride, and he goes back to Sora, and then it's this contained, short and sweet, bittersweet, tragic story of Roxas that then leads us directly into Kingdom Hearts, and the mood shifts. That's when the title card appears for the very first time in the game. There's no fanfare, there's no, over-the-top moment or anything like that. It's very, very understated, and the title card appears, then Sora comes back out, he's back with Donald and Goofy, and you're straight back into things, and it's beautiful. And if you're on a replay and you're just playing it for gameplay, then yeah, it's a little bit annoying. I can concede that, but on a first-time playthrough, it's incredible. And on a replay for story purposes, if you're replaying all the games, it still hits me every single time as just an incredible opening to a game that I absolutely love, that takes you on just a journey that's so much bigger than the one that came before it. And that, to me, is what makes Kingdom Hearts 2's story so compelling and just so engaging, is the way that it's the scope of it. The scope of it is so much bigger than KH1, and that's not to say I don't like KH1 for what it does, because I adore KH1, but the way that they build upon KH1 to just boost this game into just the fucking stratosphere is incredible in KH2. And I think it's handled in a way that makes it engaging without taking it too far, without going too crazy all at once, like maybe Dream Drop Distance tries to do. KH2, to me, is a very simple way of getting you into that larger universe, especially through Sora's perspective, and I think that's incredible in terms of story, of course. I mean, we haven't even gone into combat yet. The combat in KH2 is probably my favorite combat in any game ever. The way that it's built, the drive form leveling, the way that you get these abilities staggered throughout the game, depending on how much time you put into each of the things. You really get this sense of Sora training himself as you use Valor Form more and you kill more enemies, and as you do Master Form and you get more of these orbs, you're leveling up this stuff so that eventually, yeah, you can high jump even further than you could in KH1. You can super glide even faster. You can do aerial dodges. You can glide across the ground. You can get that really, really far dodge roll. And it makes you feel like the time you're spending playing into each of these gameplay sections is so much more worth it than it was in Kingdom Hearts 1. Everything you do feels rewarded in Kingdom Hearts 2, and it gives you so many options for planning your next move, for deciding, what you're going to do in this upcoming boss fight. What build do I want to use? What abilities do I need on? Which abilities do I need off? What accessories do I want on? What magic do I want to use? Like, do I want to use Reflect here, or do I need Fire here? Can I use that? Can I use the forms to boost anything that I'm using? It gives you so many options at your disposal to tackle every single fight that are also all integrate into the story perfectly. And on top of that, obviously in Final Mix, you've got the data battles, you've got Lingering Will, you've got the Sephiroth fight, and all of that stuff is just perfect. It's perfect gameplay. It is perfect story-wise, especially with the lingering will stuff. That's fucking incredible. And it's just... It's the game is streamlined in such a way where, yeah, the Disney worlds, they're not as well made as KH1, and the way that they're integrated into the story is not quite as strong as KH1, but everything else that you're doing is so good, and there's so much endgame content. Every Kingdom Hearts world is so perfectly made. Every character has an incredible arc. Riku's arc is just fantastic. He's one of the best Kingdom Hearts characters. Roxas's tragic story. You've got Kairi doing stuff. You get to see more of Destiny Islands. I think what it is for KH2 is that I love KH1, and KH2 takes all that and says, how can we just expand on everything that exists here? How can we make the scope bigger for every single element of this game? And I think KH2 nails all of that perfectly. And that's why it's my favorite of the series. I think it's fucking fantastic.
Okay. Both of us have made our cases, our statements.
Ah, fuck, my mouth is fucking dry. Jesus Christ.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now I think it's time for the real, like, picking it apart of both of our cases. Now, I want to say this about Kingdom Hearts 2. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. I love all the Kingdom Hearts games. It's my favourite franchise of all time. Let's not get it twisted. But let's also not get it twisted that Kingdom Hearts 2 is not even my second favourite of the Kingdom Hearts games. Like, insane. I would rather play Kingdom Hearts 3 than Kingdom Hearts 2. Any day. Any day, I'd rather play Kingdom Hearts 3 than 2.
Insanity.
I'd rather play Kingdom Hearts 1, obviously, than all of them. That's the point I'm trying to make here. That's the case I'm trying to make here. In a lot of ways, sometimes I'd rather, I don't know if I'd rather play Birth by Sleep, sometimes than 2. Like, they're pretty close. Birth by Sleep's an incredible game, so.
It's great, yeah.
That's not an insult to 2. I just mean, that's where I sit to in my head of the games, why I want to play it. And the reason that is, there's a few reasons. So and it's never changed, and part of it is how I felt about it when I first played it, because obviously I played Kingdom Hearts 2 when it came out in 2006. That was and was buzzing about it. Couldn't wait for it to come out. I loved Kingdom Hearts 1 so much. And 2 comes out, and we're playing as this guy Roxas at the start of the game, as you pointed out. Now, here's my thing. I've never liked Roxas in Kingdom Hearts 2. I actually dislike him as a character.
That's insane.
I always dislike... I didn't like Roxas until 358 over 2 days. That's when I was like, oh, I really like Roxas. Whereas I genuinely don't like him in Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's so insane.
Yeah.
He's so great.
So, I always hate the start of Kingdom Hearts 2. It feels like, you said it's 1 to 2 hours. It feels like 6. Whenever I think about it, I'm like, oh, the fucking opening 6 hours is awful.
It probably is for you, isn't it, though, to be fair? Oh, where's the 7th wonder of Twilight Town? I can't fucking find it. Oh, it's this dog in a bag. I've got to chase the dog in the bag around.
I gotta chase the dog in a bag around. Fuck you. Oh god. Yeah, I don't like it. And yeah, you're right. Okay, it expands upon it, opens up the world from Sora's bubble, but I don't like. And there's some great story there, no doubt about it. But like we talked about, then you've got the actual game to play, and okay, the combat's fun. No, there's no arguments there. The Kingdom Hearts 2 combat's great, but I don't think the structure of the Disney worlds are all that great. I think it's some of the worst Disney worlds are in 2. I personally don't like Mulan, for example. I don't really like Mulan. I don't really like Beauty and the Beast all that much either. I don't like Beast Castle a lot. I don't like a lot of the Disney worlds in 2. And that's the majority of the game you're playing. And then not only do I not like a number of them, especially Pirates of the Caribbean shit, then you've got to go back to them all. That's the worst part about Kingdom Hearts 2 for me.
That's about 10 minutes though. It's 10, 20 minutes. It's nothing.
Not 10, 20 minutes. It's like an hour.
Not for you. It does not take that long.
Cunt.
It does not. We were doing it yesterday. We were doing KH2 Rando. We were doing second visits. They did not take long at all. It's it's like a room with enemies and then a boss fight. The rest of it's cutscenes, and they're the best cutscenes too. The second visits, because it's when the organization members show up, and not all of them are great. Some of them are dumb. There's some good parallels, like the Halloween Town revisit, where you've got the robot that like is trying to like form a heart, and it's like a good parallel between nobodies and stuff. That's cool. But you've got, like, there's some great cutscenes. Like, Zaldin kidnaps Belle in Beast's castle, and you have to fight Zaldin. Like, you're actually taking out organization members in Disney Worlds on your second visit.
But why can't they just have it
which
this
is great
first run through? What I hate is this, it feels like forever, because it's the inconvenience of loading up every world over and over and over again to go back to them all. Why do I have to do that? Why not just put it in at the end of the world?
Because you got to have that bit in the middle where you go to Radiant Garden, you have the Battle of Thousand Heartless, you fight with all the Final Fantasy characters.
I just feel like it could have been redone. Could have been restructured.
Nah. I think it's perfectly structured. I love Kingdom Hearts 2 structure.
It's
because you go through. You have every world visit.
Having to revisit world.
You get to know the characters. You get to know the world. You have its own story. Then you have this timeout where Kingdom Hearts story ramps up, and then that Kingdom Hearts story bleeds into every Disney World. So you have to go back to each one for a short visit to have these stories that are building on this organization story that's then come after you've been there for the first time. I really like how all that's done, and that's obviously incredibly subjective. I can't argue that point, but. Yeah. I think it's.
I'm just saying where I stand from. I hate having to revisit all these worlds again, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to fucking Beast Castle. It was shit the first time. I don't want to do it. Like, there's certain worlds I really like. For example, I actually really like the Lion King. I think that's a cool way to do a world. I actually enjoy the boss battles there. That's one that stands out to me as a good one. Like, I forget Agrabah's in Kingdom Hearts 2 because Agrabah in Kingdom Hearts 1 is so fucking awesome. Yeah. And perfect, and I don't like it in 2 that much. Like, it's just so whatever. It's forgettable. When I think of Agrabah, I only ever think in my head back to Kingdom Hearts 1. And I just found the Disney was forgettable. They didn't really link as much to the story. I hate having to revisit them. Some of the organization members I don't like. I wasn't that into all these organization members. I actually think most of my favorite organization members are in Chain of Memories. Like, not all of them, but a lot of them are in fucking Chain of Memories. A lot of the important ones, especially for later down the line, are fucking in Chain of Memories. And then you've got this storyline. Obviously, Sora's all goofy. That's all great and stuff. But as a villain, Xemnas to me is no Ansem. He's not even close, and he's not as Xehanort. I think he's the weakest of the three. By a landslide. Yeah, I do. I don't rate Xemnas at all. Like, obviously, I think he's good in comparison to other games. Like, Xemnas is obviously a pretty incredible character, but I thought Ansem was way, 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 way better. And then Xehanort, obviously, overall is he's...
I think Ansem has this... I think he's special because it's the first time you realise there's something outside of the Disney stuff. You realise Maleficent's not actually pulling the strings, and really it's this Ansem character. And I think that gives a lot of, like... There's a lot of mystery then there added into Ansem's character. Whereas I don't feel there's a lot of actual character towards Ansem. Whereas Xemnas, I feel, has this inner conflict of, yeah, he's part Xehanort and he's doing this evil shit, but also he's a nobody and he does want a heart. Like, he does want to be a somebody, and there's that struggle there. Whereas Ansem doesn't. He's just pure evil, heartless. And I always liked that about Xemnas. I thought there was a bit more complexity there, which engaged me more.
What makes Ansem better to me is the Riku combination and the way they do that. Sure. I think is what makes Ansem superior to Xemnas. And then I thought there's some great parts about the Xemnas boss fight at the end, but overall, I don't like it as much as the Ansem battle in Kingdom Hearts 1. And I could compare it. I mean, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 has the best ending of any Kingdom Hearts game. It's the best part of the game. It's those last, 5-6 hours. But we're not arguing about Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't rate the structure. I don't rate the Disney worlds overall. I think there's a lot of weak ones. I don't like the revisiting. And I don't like Roxas in Kingdom Hearts 2. And I still don't like Roxas in Kingdom Hearts 2. You can... Even when I replay it. I like him now... And I like him in 3, and that was a special moment when he comes back because I love the 358 over 2 days characters, and Haina, Pence, Olette. I thought they were really good in Kingdom Hearts 3, and the way that, they meet Sora I actually thought was way better than the stuff in Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't know, man. I didn't buy it in 2. I never liked Roxas in 2, and when that whole ending happens, I didn't like Naminé in 2 as well. Like, I was just like, whatever. I just felt whatever. I've always felt whatever about those 2 in the game. So when it comes to the ending, it's not a big emotional moment when like it flashes and it's, it's Kairi and Sora looking at each other in that like end cutscene, and then you have they flash their faces to Roxas and Naminé, and I'm like, that's not I'm like, go away, those 2. I care about Sora and Kairi.
What the fuck is your dick?
Yeah, I don't rate it.
How dare you?
I don't rate it. I just don't rate Kingdom Hearts 2 that much. Yes, I don't disagree the combat is better, but I don't think the combat in 1's bad enough for me to care that much.
No, it's good. It's good. 1 is good in everything that it does.
Yeah, I just strongly disagree with you that 2 does everything better than 1, because it doesn't. I think structurally it's way weaker. Yes, it expands and the story's epic and everything, and there's a lot of stuff that it builds to that I love. But then there's a lot of stuff I don't like. Where there's nothing in 1 I don't like. There's nothing in 1 that I look at and don't like. I thought all the Disney worlds are really, at least really good to fantastic. Whereas I think there's a lot where I'm like, there's fantastic Disney worlds in 2, but there's also the range is much broader because it goes all the way to like average to sort of shitty, in my opinion. That's how I feel about 2. But then there's some like really memorable ones, like when you go to what's the black and white Disney like Mickey Mouse cartoon world?
Timeless River, yeah.
I love that. I think that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a great world.
I really enjoyed Timeless River, but I didn't enjoy, as I said, Mulan or I don't even like Halloween Town. Like, I don't like the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff in 2 either. In comparison,
I don't like
to
that in either games, to be honest. I think they're
really,
fucking overrated.
I love it in Kingdom Hearts 1. It's one of my favorite worlds.
It's weird. I like the design of KH1 worlds, but I actually don't like a lot of the worlds. Like, you go, like, I think I love Olympus. I think Olympus.
Hard not to love Olympus. We love Olympus.
Olympus is a great world in KH1. I actually really like Deep Jungle. A lot of people don't, but I do like Deep Jungle.
It's very memorable. I always enjoyed Deep Jungle too. I have a love-hate relationship with Deep Jungle. I feel
Alice in Wonderland. I don't like Alice in Wonderland.
I love it. It's just because it's it's the first world. It's just, in my opinion, I think it's the first world.
That world. It's just so boring. It's odd to me they decided that should be the first world, but it's whatever. Yeah. Agrabah is fine. I don't love it that much. It's just sort of okay. I feel like it's a lot of. I like the environments more than I enjoy it. I don't know. I feel like the second half of the world is a lot stronger than the first half of the world. And there's a lot of reading text boxes. And a lot less cutscenes. I don't know. That's how I've always felt about Agrabah. It might not be true, but I don't know. That's how I always remember it. Then you got like Halloween Town. I don't care for. Atlantica, I don't think is good. I think Monstro, I like Monstro a lot actually. I think it's a really good world because it's one of those worlds where it's it's really Kingdom Hearts focused whilst being a Disney world, and I think that works for Monstro. And then the other one that's actually really similar to Monstro is Neverland, where the world itself is pretty shit because it's not actually Neverland, it's just a boat. But the story there is good because it's all Kingdom Hearts stuff. Like, you got Riku shows up, Kairi's fucking lifeless corpse is there.
Yep.
And whatnot. You got like a little dark sword and stuff. So that's all really cool, even though the world itself ain't good. And then obviously like Hollow Bastion's great and End of the World is cool. But I think with like KH2, you've got
Travis Town, one of the great worlds all time, and I won't have.
Yeah, Travis Town's a great one. Yeah. But it's, KH2. I just feel like there's something about the way that I think. Because although the worlds are designed better in KH1, they're like designed for that game. So like in KH2, just the range of movement you have when you finish just feels so satisfying moving about these spaces. And I really like that about those. When you're like aerial dodging and gliding around, it's just, you feel powerful and you feel like Sora's doing, like he's sort of earned this place. And the worlds themselves, I mean, I love Olympus. I think it's a great world. I actually really like Land of Dragons. I think it's a pretty good one. I don't love it, but I think it's pretty fun to play, and I like the little story you've got there, and it's quite a wholesome little experience. And then you've got like Beast Castle. I love Beast Castle. I think that's a great world. I think it's a really solid world. I really enjoy it. Like, story's really good, and like the second visit's great. And then you got like, Pirates. Yeah, Pirates sucks, but I kind of like it, and I don't know why. I just It sucks, but I've never hated it the way everyone else does. I've always been like, this is kind of fun. I don't know why. I kind of like fighting those little the skeletons that you have to get out into the moonlight.
Can you please tell me that Atlantica is better in Kingdom Hearts 2 than 1? I can't wait to hear this bullshit argument you're gonna say about that.
Okay, yeah, sure. All right, Atlantica then. It's better in KH2. It's not
anything in KH2.
You don't have to, exactly. That's why it's better. You don't have to swim around. You don't have to do any bullshit like going through fucking holding dolphins and figuring out how to get through boulders.
My God, I'm sorry it took
you just
so
do
long
song
to make
mini
a friend
games
with a
and
dolphin, you
it's
fucking
loser.
It's
funny.
Just because
it's
you
a
don't
funny
know how,
world. It's
just because
silly.
the dolphins are like, we're not going to go around him because he's a fucking weird cunt. So then, of course they don't want to run the fin. So they're like running around like a dickhead, swimming around like an idiot. Like, where's the dolphin at? And then I was like, fuck you. Whereas for me, it's always there. It's like, hey man, you're a good guy. We'll help
you're right.
you
That's
get
a
where
good
you need
point.
to go. You know what I mean? But you're a loser. So
Yeah.
So it doesn't
You're
want to hang
right.
out with you. It doesn't want to hang out with you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're definitely right.
The reason you love Roxas so much is because you're fucking... Oh my God, Rox has all these friends. I wish I was Roxas. Fucking loser. No friend James.
Look. What is this? What is this? Oh my God.
This has been a very civil debate. And I just thought, I need to get angry at you. I need to say some mean shit.
We've had too much genuine shit to say. This is the first time we've actually debated something like we actually want to debate though. Because like the last time it's like we both actually really love God of War and Red Dead. It's kind of like a debate for the sake of it. And then the last one we did was just dumb anyway.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't even arguing anything proper. But this time, you know,
it's a real debate. But I think we care. This matters too much. This matters too much to both of us. And we also like, and I think it means more. You know what I mean?
But also, I think you dislike KH2 more than I don't dislike KH1 at all.
No, I know. I think I dislike KH2 more than you dislike KH1, which is not to say that either of us dislike it. I only dislike Roxas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I mean by that is, again, it's probably not dislike. It's probably just like, I definitely know that I'm not having the correct emotional reaction to what everyone else has to this character. That's what I recognize when I play it. I'm like, I just don't feel what I think they want me to feel in this moment.
That makes sense.
And
that makes a lot of sense.
And the revisits are bullshit. Disney World's aren't as good. In fact, you know what? The game sucks. And I think you're I think you're an idiot.
Oh, well, there you go. That's fair.
Xemnas isn't as good. The ending's not as good. The ending
is better. The ending is one of the best Kingdom Hearts endings ever.
No, it's not. It's absolutely
You get back
not.
to Destiny Islands. He gives Kyrie back the good luck charm after so long. It's fucking incredible.
That
Donald
one
and Goofy
scene
run out.
is great.
You got the scene on the beach.
I'm more mean the whole end section with all the boss battles and shit. I think End of the World.
What? It's fucking mad. No, wait. End of the World. Yeah, you've got like Ansem, which is an incredible fight and everything, and like Dark Riku. But in the world that never was, you're fighting organization member after organization member. You got Luxord. You got fucking.
Just having a string of boss battles doesn't make it good.
But it's not just a string of boss battles. They're all quality boss fights that all have story there. Like, you're getting through this world. I enjoy
the transition between these battles in KH1 where there's like some time to digest what's going on, some time to like regroup and have other fights.
You do have that in KH2. You have moments where you finally got Kyrie shows up.
Doors and you pretty much fight like 5 bosses in a row in the
No, you don't. You fight Zigbar and then Kyrie shows up and she finally gets to wield a Keyblade. Then you've got the next moment after you beat Luxord where Riku Ansem the Wise dies, and then Riku takes his he takes the blindfold thing off or whatever. He comes back and he's Riku again.
Yeah.
You got some great in between moments.
It didn't hit me as much as it did you, mate.
What the fuck?
I just don't know what you're talking about.
They're so good.
The Kyrie stuff's great. The Riku stuff's great. No dispute. I'm all mean like proper gameplay, exploring a world moments that End of the World has a lot more of.
I mean, does it? End of the World is literally just boss fight after boss fight, though.
It's a more challenging variety, I found, as well. Like,
really?
From Chernobog to like the big, like you're just getting fucking flooded with heartless, like that whole when you're in that room, that's like stressful.
I mean, yeah, it's hard.
And then
But so's fighting Zigbar. That's also hard. Harder, I might argue, if you're playing on crit, obviously.
Right. I just don't. I never found in Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't know. Maybe that I had just some resentment towards it because I was just like, what the fuck? Like nobody's now. Like when I first played it, when I'm like 11 years old, and it came out, I was like, what are we doing? Like they've just made up this new thing for this new. Like I was just sort of like,
you just have this mentality of like you're a kid. And you're like, this isn't the thing that I like. This thing's bad.
I was just sort of like,
you're still there.
And it's just this taste of that state. Whereas like
it makes sense.
Don't hate the nobodies or anything or the concept of them, especially in the later games, from Dream Distance Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 3 and all that. But for whatever reason, whenever I go to 2, I'm just like, fuck you, organization. Fucking fuck you. And fuck Roxas and fuck all of this. I remember playing, after I finished Kingdom Hearts 2 the first time, I was like, whatever. I sort of didn't have a big Kingdom Hearts phase after that. I sort of got out of it after that. And when all those games, 258 came out, all these games came out, I didn't really jump into any of them. I didn't play Birth by Sleep until they, until the collections came out and I got a PS4.
That's so weird.
That's when I finally got to play Birth by Sleep for the first time. And I watched 358 for the first time. Which is actually honestly good because, like, for example, Harlan, my brother, he was watching and playing all those games at the time that they came out. He borrowed a PSP from a mate so he could play Birth by Sleep and all that sort of shit. Mm-hmm. But it meant that by the time Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, like 13 years after Kingdom Hearts 2, he'd had his phase where he was into all the side games and then he'd gotten over it. So when Kingdom Hearts 3 finally came around, he's sort of like, yeah, whatever. Like, he doesn't really care about Kingdom Hearts 3. He sort of got over it. Whereas I sort of waited and got hyped about 3 at the perfect time, which was like a few years before it came out, the same time you did. Like, we got into everything at the perfect time.
When I got fully into Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
So weird. There was a time I didn't know anything about fucking Kingdom Hearts. Now I know too much.
Yeah, you called it like a weird franchise. That sounds weird.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that sounds weird. I remember you can go back and you can listen to it. It's when we did the Sticker Dynamite cross with Deep in the Bowels. You talked to me about Kingdom Hearts for the first time.
Yeah.
And I remember because you were like, oh, maybe they'll show Kingdom Hearts 3 at E3. And I'm like, I've heard about Kingdom Hearts. It sounds fucking weird, mate.
And I explained.
Don't know if that's for me, man.
Yeah, and I explained it. And that's so funny now to think that we've got a documented moment the first time you were convinced to play Kingdom Hearts.
I know. And then I played it. I will never forget, though, playing through Kingdom Hearts 1 for the first time. Like, that is such a unique experience.
Yeah.
It's... like you've got some of my streams where I'm going through and like the fun of it as well, like something that later Kingdom Hearts games didn't really do, although KH3 I think did quite well with it, is when you go onto the world map you don't see what worlds you've got to go to, so like they're just question marks. And then you set out in the gummy ship and then when you finally appear at the world you're like, oh shit, it's Tarzan or oh it's Aladdin. And I think KH3 did that quite well because you fly through the gummy ship space and then you come across the worlds like sort of floating there. And you're like, oh, it's Toy Box or whatever. And that's cool. I always like that. I don't like the worlds being revealed before you go there, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. And you know what else I agree with? I agree with what you're saying clearly, which is Kingdom Hearts 1 is the better game. And I'm glad that's what we finally landed on.
Not a fucking chance. KH2 also has The Gathering and Birth by Sleep secret movies, which are both fucking incredible and better than Another Side, Another Story from KH1. But that's, neither here nor there.
I find it hard to argue the final mix stuff because what I know of the games, I understand we have to include them, but my feelings towards it is like I know the games as their original forms of 1 and 2, and I thought the original Kingdom Hearts 2 was not nearly as good as the final mix. So I've still got that also taste in my mouth of when I think of Kingdom Hearts 2, I think of the original Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, that's true.
I spent more time with that game than the final mix. Whereas you talk about these things, these abilities, and even these gameplay mechanics, I'm like, that I swear was not in the original. I don't even remember that. But like I've played, obviously know it now because I've played the final mix, but I didn't play final mix until probably after you played final mix.
Yeah,
like
true.
Kingdom Hearts 2, when you think about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think we have more insults to throw. You know, Roxas is shit. We know that. That's well established. It's fact. And revisiting World sucks. We've also established that. So, if you are right and know things, you'll have voted for Kingdom Hearts 1 as the better game. And if you're
I'm worried.
Someone that has
KH2's gonna win.
If you're someone that has no friends, I understand the fact that you would vote.
Let's go, no friends.
James.
Let's go.
I'm just going to refresh the Patreon page. Let's find out what the As Always members voted on Kingdom Hearts 1 versus Kingdom Hearts 2.
Let's see.
That is disappointing. That
Let me
is
go see.
disappointing.
Oh, yes. Let's go.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
The right side of history. Let's do it.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is voted by you, the people, on patreon.com/, as always, as the better Kingdom Hearts game. Now, obviously, you're wrong, and you're new, young, no friend Kingdom Hearts fans. I understand that, but here we are. James won, and I have to take my licks, as I said. James won fair and square. How do you feel, James?
I feel great. Let's read some of the comments.
I hate you all.
Let's see what people have to say. We got Ryan Hafer, who says never played Kingdom Hearts, so thanks for your insight, mate. Appreciate that. We got one from Mario here that says, my personal favourite is Andrew Garfield. Can't believe you didn't include him in this poll. He is by far the best Kingdom Hearts game. Yeah, it's a good one, Mario. I agree with you there. Actually.
Also someone that's never played Kingdom Hearts as well, so go fuck yourself,
Mario. Yeah, true. Ben Higgins says KH2 easily wins, objectively better than KH1. Well, he said it now. So.
But I also appreciate the fact that he gave no reason whatsoever. So thank you, Ben. You dumb.
Well, you don't need a reason if you say objectively. That's it. It's done.
Yeah, true.
Clear cut.
You're right.
Yeah, it's over.
Well, so that's really the only reason it won the poll then, because everyone would have read that comment and then had to have voted for 2.
They knew they had.
I think most.
No,
people
they just had the correct answer. Then they knew. They knew the facts.
Kingdom Hearts 1 is better. The original's always better, you know. It's just some cheap knockoff, that second game they put out. You know, that's what I hear anyway. That's what I've heard people say.
Ollie says Kingdom Hearts 2 is better, but there's just something about one that no other game has managed to capture. And that I do agree, I would say. Yeah.
There's an originality and flavour to Kingdom Hearts 1 that no Kingdom Hearts game has ever replicated.
KH1 is its own thing. It's its own little contained thing, and I think it's quite charming in that respect.
Ethan Dean, he says, next Civil War definitely needs to be rejecting childhood friends by getting married versus meeting the popular Sinduri bully. The community needs to know. This is
that mean?
This is the on the Four Pillars podcast. This is a meme from one that you missed when you had surgery. Because George's recommended was like weird, creepy anime ASMR was on his recommended. And it was so fucking creepy. And these are the titles. Like, one of the titles was rejecting your childhood friend by getting married, and we watched that. It was so fucking creepy. Meeting the popular Sindiri bully. Yeah, that was honestly one of my favorite YouTube recommends. So fucking wild. Because I'd never heard of any of these things. Harlan was saying to me, because you know Harlan loves fucking anime, he goes, it was just funny hearing you say words I'd never imagine you saying, like Sindiri. I don't know what that means. Or
I don't know what that means either.
Yeah, but there was some other anime phrases that I was just like, I guess it would be if you're a fan of anime, you wouldn't ever expect me to say those words, so that would be probably pretty funny. And I didn't know what I was saying. That's funny. Flash Paradox says the real answer is Kingdom Hearts 3. And Brettman replied, based. Hey, look, Kingdom Hearts 3 has its place. There's no doubt about it. I think it's better than 2, personally.
I think it's better than 1.
Do you really? Do you actually think it's better than 1?
Yeah, with Remind for sure. It's my second.
Oh, with Remind. Yeah. Remind did, yeah.
Base game, no way. KH1 Final Mix is better,
but Kingdom Hearts 3 Final Mix is better than Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I think I would think that.
I think I would think that.
I think that I would think that.
Jack Nichols says Final Fantasy VII Remake. Thank you for that.
Good game.
Brefman says Kingdom Hearts 1 is good, but Kingdom Hearts 2 is better, in my opinion.
Thank you, Brefman.
Having Brefman on your side isn't helpful to you, to be honest, James. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
It's like this whole Tyler versus George thing, this Tyler versus Long-Eared Fox. I have Eddie on my side, which is like, I mean, I love it because I'll take, you know, anyone that's on Team Dynamite's a friend, but also it's sort of like, fuck, could you not be?
Yeah, could you maybe not, Eddie?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's not a helpful thing. It's not good for public perception.
Oh, man.
It's not good PR, is what I'm saying.
No, you're right.
David4082 says, it has to be 2. Just improves on everything and the story is perfect.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I definitely love. I definitely would think And shit story would be perfect too. That's a great way to describe it.
You couldn't think of an example. I
couldn't think of. I didn't know what to say. I'd just be retracing shit I've already said. I'd be like, Roxas sucks. I'm like, I've already said that. I didn't have anything else to say. I didn't even know what I was saying. I just started a sentence and I'm like, I don't know where this sentence is going. What are we doing? Christian Rowe says, Kingdom Hearts 1 is definitely iconic and memorable and just sets up and puts you on such a journey. And even the combat, you could argue, is very Souls-like in its very limited moveset approach. Oh, God. Dude, I had to read a topic from Christian on Clubhouse today, and it was fucked. I was like, I don't know what you're saying, bro.
Amazing.
Dude, can I read you the first sentence of his topic?
Yeah. Okay.
No, actually, I want you to read it and decipher it.
Let me find it.
Yeah, go to that. Oh, fucking Zach left a topic and it didn't make it because it was too fucking late. Oh, it's fucking an idiot.
Where is it? I can't even find it. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Oh, you posted it after this. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. So I want you to read just the first
Christian,
sentence.
okay. So up to where the first full stop is, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just checking you didn't mean like the first line. I didn't want to like read too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, he definitely needed a full stop somewhere in there, but he doesn't. So what I want you to read is what he thinks is a one sentence.
Okay, all right, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so he says, all right, so a bit of a weird one. It's not even funny yet, but I'm laughing. You've set it up. Okay. Yeah. All right, so a bit of a weird one, but I got that new job and I'm getting a new bachelor pad. So happy about that, though. I'm finding it hard to adapt to the fact that they are just doing stuff in store the wrong way. What the fuck was that? What the fuck?
That's like a randomly generated sentence. You know what I mean? That's what that was.
Fuck? It made sense until he goes about that, though I'm finding it hard to adapt to the fact they are just doing stuff in store the wrong way. What the fuck does that mean?
That's what I was losing. I was losing my mind. Because then I go to the next sentence. Hang on, read the next sentence. Read the next one.
Okay. That's not the... That's not the weird part. The weird part is that I think this young one is fucking with me, or she actually thinks I'm racist. What the fuck does that mean?
I was losing my mind at this. I'm like, what are you saying? I don't even know what you're saying to me. Where are we? Like, I'm telling you a story. Like, you're painting a word picture, James. Like, I'm setting you a scene. I'm setting a background. You know the characters involved, and then I give you the events.
Oh my God.
I don't know what the fuck he's even saying. I don't know what he's saying. Like, none of these sentences make sense. It took me ages to decipher, but what I realized was he got a new job, and that new job is in a store.
Right.
And he thinks he's finding it hard to adapt to the fact in this job, they're doing stuff in the store the wrong way, he believes. But the weird part is that a coworker of his might be fucking with him or thinks he's racist. That's what he said.
Right.
But it took me ages to figure that out.
Why didn't he just say? Like, he's like, so a bit of a weird one, but I got that new job and I'm getting a new bachelor pad, so happy about that, though. I'm finding it hard to adapt to the fact that just doing stuff in store the wrong way. That's not the weird part. The weird part is that I think this young one is fucking with me, or she actually thinks I'm racist. Yeah. It's like he's like assuming you already know the context of everything, and he's just
he hasn't said where he works. Like, I didn't know that.
No.
I didn't know it was a store. Like, what do you mean? Okay, good new job. But then it would make almost more sense if he said, I got a new job, but I'm finding it hard to adapt to the fact they're doing stuff in the store the wrong way. But he doesn't. He says what he's happy about is the new bachelor pad. That's what he's following on from. So we're now thinking about a bachelor pad, and then he's talking about they're doing something in a store the wrong way, and it's like, what the fuck?
What's that got to do? With anything?
Yeah. So what Christian's famous for? Christian is of can't write a sentence fame, and that's what we're reading here on the Civil War topic. So I'll go back and read that again. Kingdom Hearts 1 is definitely iconic and memorable, and just sets up and puts you in such a journey. And even the combat, you could argue, is very Souls-like in its limited moveset approach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Christian Rowe of Doesn't Know How to Write a Sentence fame. Kingdom Hearts, but he continues on to say, Kingdom Hearts 2 is the refining of everything you love about 1. Though, like, as much as I like the added difficulty, having more combos and movesets is incredible. Magic is so much more useful, and the drive form system is just perfect. Each one creating such unique combat situations, styles, and situations. Even talking about story, though, 2 definitely has more mystery and intrigue, and it's world building, but Kingdom Hearts 1 has such heart, and the whole way through just works so well. Actually, a tough decision. Both games are excellent. Well, he really improved his writing.
Yeah, he also just sat on the fence by the end of that comment. So fuck you, Christian.
Yeah, that's a fence sitter. We don't like a fence sitter.
Decide.
Yeah. If you vote the wrong way, that's okay. I can accept that, but I can't accept you not making the decision.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Christian. Thank you for your topic.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Nick Zan, with the last one, he says, indisputably Kingdom Hearts 2. Not just because of Roxas. Ugh. You're all disgusting.
Yes.
But I prefer the story, and the gameplay is improved tenfold, which I'm sure James has already explained. So Tyler, go fuck yourself, and James, you're a real gamer, and that's why you're right.
Yeah, let's go, Nick.
Well, I have to sit there and just take that, don't I? Because I lost, so I have to literally sit here and go fuck myself.
Yeah.
That's so fair enough. The people really voted for Kingdom. It was, and I mean, it got like 2/3 of the votes.
Yeah, it's a good amount.
It was slightly more than 2/3, so it was quite a decisive, decisive victory for
beautiful,
there, which I don't like. I don't like that, but there it is. Happy. That's it, James. That's this episode of the As Always podcast. Thanks for joining me again, and
thanks for having me on.
That's right, mate. Maybe I'll have you on again soon, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
what
maybe.
Happens.
I hope so. I'd love to be on again.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Don't get too excited. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening and watching and checking this out. Be sure to subscribe to the 4 Pillars Network, like this video, and share us around. We've been getting, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was the last 4 Pillars podcast or last As Always podcast, but I checked like its SoundCloud views, and then I went to like our iTunes, Spotify stats, and it was blown up. I was like, holy fuck. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Like, but it was just like twice as much as we normally get. So I'm like, fucking oath, here we go.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great. But anyway, thanks for supporting us. And, if you listen to us on Spotify, follow us, rate us, all that sort of shit, and give us a review on iTunes. Appreciate the fuck out of all of you. And, of course, we need to thank the Sweet Vintage Lads over on patreon.com/as always. James, do you want to read the list, or do you want me to read the list?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want me to read the list? I can read the list.
Okay. Well, I'll leave the list to you, because last time, you wanted to read it. You were like, oh, it's been a while. I'll read the list.
I'll read the list. All right. Let's read the list. Okay, here we go. Thank you to everybody supporting us with $5 or more than $5. We've got Ollie the Superior Roller, Avery Dobbs, Clark 53, Damien, Epic Alaric or Morgoth's Monstercock, Ferentino, Flash Paradox, Franco, Jesper Olsen, King Richard III, Ryan Hafer, Seth, Bullsack 47, Aragon, Henry, Kimo Cybergamer, Cream Pies, Lumistrad, Sicarius aka Kieran, Abbas, The Hayman, I hate every single one of you, Abominable Goblin Shit, Alfie Robber, Andy Cure, Big Dick 666999, Batter the Boom, I batter the Boom, I batter the Bing. Ben Davis, Ben Higgins is thankful for his stick brethren, Benedict Clobbers, Bigger Than My Hookie, Biggest Fucking Virgin, Bodge, BQ Overlord the Elder, Brian Ford, Christian0210, Connor's Roast Bully in the Alley, Emerald Catbug, Erudito, change your fucking name, Ethan Dean, Evan the Poet, Fishy, Furious Coco, Gene, Gimme a Penis, Ginkgo Swag, God Bless the Visionary Zack Snyder, Gwen Hughes, Harris aka Bat Assassin. Hey man, if I wanted to read out names, I'd go and get pissed and read the phone directory with my mates. Idiot Strength, Jack DG 1998, Jaden B. Bennett, Joe the Founded Scarab, Josh DeVilliers, Josh J. Anderson, Joshua Morrick, Assassin, Christian Rowe, Liam, Luca, Louis DeLeon, Mario 5380, Master Bass, Max H, Nick Miller, Otaku World 7, our best and favourite mod Brownie, Owen Big Brain, Philip Stillwagon, Radok, Rav J, Son of a Bitch, OG Dogo, Sparky Bark, Spectral Division, or Adrian, I don't know man, The Blue Cow, they call me the Greenie Bearer, but fuck's sake, change name as well, Assassin's Creed 1,000,000 at gmail.com, what the fuck? TJFL, I feel like maybe you should bleep that, but it also looks like a fake email, so I'm not sure. Tobias Forge, please release the new Ghost album. Sincerely, Adam, Tristan Oberfell, Walshy, you absolute Philly Thothage, and Zeppo. Thank you all so much for your continued support here on Patreon. We love you, we bloody do, and we'll see you in a week for more gaming. So thank you all so much.
You absolutely will. Thanks, guys.
That's it.
Goodbye.
See you later. Bye.